From Peoria Stadium, just off War Memorial Drive in Peoria, Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready to go for playoff football 5A bout. The Kankakee K's travel to Peoria to take on the host Peoria High Lions. Alongside Lateef Love, I'm Gavin Russell. It's going to be an exciting matchup. Lateef, let's just start there. There's a lot to dig into, but this is an excellent matchup.
Yeah, two high-ranked teams. Kankakee. Last year they run up to the state championship, so they want to avenge the stuff from last year. So I think both of these teams are focused. I think the keys for the game for Kankakee, stop the run. Malachi Washington is so dynamic, but they have the defense to do that. They have two elite cornerbacks, Nazir Hill and Jair Hill. So they can in the passing game. I think they're good. They just got to worry about focusing on the run, stopping. That's really most of, Peoria offense. And for Peoria, I think the keys of the game, I feel like Kankakee's going to expect them to run a lot. So, they surprise them and pass the ball. It's really on Tino to, perform today, because I feel like running the ball, it's been working for them all season. But as soon as the run has been able to stop, they haven't been able to do anything besides, in the passing game. So I feel like really the game is on Tino tonight. See what he can do.
Got to find ways to win in the playoffs. It's do or die time. We'll have all the live coverage here on CSM2 or on ClutchSportsIsle.com. We appreciate you joining us from wherever you may be, Kankakee, Peoria, or elsewhere. Thank you for joining us on ClutchSportsIsle.com. Touched on a few keys there, and both, of course, very important. You got to find different ways to win, but let's hone in on some of the players, as you mentioned as well. Let's start with Kankakee. Jair Hill, definitely one of the most featured player on this team. 4-star recruit. He's a senior. He's got a lot of teams on his radar. How about these teams? Illinois, Michigan, Auburn, Washington, Boston College, just to name a few. There's some speculation he could end up at either Michigan or Illinois. Big things on his radar, but he's just a really special player.
I think about him, he's so long and lengthy, he's so athletic. He plays both sides of the ball as well. He has potential on the offensive side, but I think in college he probably played cornerback. He's just very, very physical and man-to-man coverage. So that gives the Kankakee opportunity, load the box, because if Peoria does pass, they're really safe in the passing game because he's a lockdown corner. He's the second ranked cornerback in Illinois and the 15th ranked in the whole entire nation.
Yeah, he is really good, known throughout the state and nationally. You see the smoke flying up there. Here come the Peoria High Lions. They'll take the field, and they have a featured player of their own. That's Malachi Washington. You touched on him, but he's had a fantastic season, stepping in for the reigning PJ Star Player of the Year, Eddie Clark, who graduated last year. The running back, Washington, stepped in. He has rushed for over 2,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns in the regular season. He had a big effort last week as well. He rushed for 5 Lions touchdowns. Malachi Washington, nothing short of amazing.
5 touchdowns and, I believe, 5 two-point conversions as well.
For sure.
But, yeah, Peoria offense goes as he goes.
Apologies, folks. Working through some technical difficulties. Hopefully you can hear us all now. Do appreciate when our fans let us know you can't hear us. We want to be able to give you some live commentary and live action here on ClutchSportsIsle.com. But we ready to go as you hear over the PA. Both teams are set to go, and it is time for football. Broke down some of these players, some of the keys to the game Lateef mentioned. Again, Gavin Russell, Lateef Love alongside me. Thatcher Zaleski at the controls. Paco Alonso roaming the sidelines. Great Clutch Sports staff. We are ready to go for some football, though. Any final thoughts, Lateef? And, got to think both teams want to get off to a hot start to really try to get some momentum in this game.
I don't think this game is going to be very high scoring. Kankakee's defense is very, very elite. They only allow 6 points a game. But, Peoria has a high scoring offense. They're averaging 49 points per game this season. But it's really based on how well Peoria is able to run the ball, how well they're throwing the ball as well. I think it's going to be a very, hard-nosed game today. 21-17, 21-14 type game. I think it's going to be very competitive, but not very high scoring.
For sure, and one of the things that's been a staple of Peoria High in the last several years under head coach Tim Thornton, who's coached over a decade here at Peoria High, led him to a state championship in 2016. They play very unorthodox, so if you've never seen Peoria High play or haven't seen them often, you'll be a little surprised at some of their tactics. You'll often see them onside kicks, squib kicks, often go for it on 4th down, and the trademark of Peoria High, they always go for 2. They never kick extra points or field goals, so they're always looking to maximize their points. Little unorthodox, though, they play pretty aggressively on defense as well. But this year, Tim Thornton said this is one of the best Peoria High defenses that he's coached in several years.
With the over-aggression, they got to make sure, they don't give Kankakee really great field position because they will score. Their quarterback is very efficient in the passing game, over 900 yards this season. They're really a running team, but as soon as they need to pass, they're very efficient in the passing game. He's over like 70% from the, throwing the ball. So with Peoria being such as aggressive, they just need to make sure that they don't give Kankakee great field position every time.
No doubt about it. They got to be smart. Of course, you want to play aggressive. You want to keep your foot on the gas pedal, so to speak. This stadium has played host to many big offensive outputs from the Lions. They're no stranger to keeping their foot on the gas pedal. Witnessed a 96-point effort a few years ago in a playoff game nonetheless. So Peoria High, no stranger to big numbers and big performances. Neither is Kankakee, though. Multiple shutouts on the year from this Kankakee defense that you mentioned is just so stingy. They put up some big numbers on offense as well. And again, a very evenly based matchup here. Peoria High, the higher seed, but to be honest, this is really one of the more even games you're going to find throughout the state of Illinois this weekend. An exciting matchup for sure. The home stands getting pretty full. Some late arrivers, Kankakee, plenty of fans making the trip down. Just waiting the last minute here before we head to kickoff. We'll mention too, there's another big game going on that Clutch Sports is all over tonight. That's down in Normal Community. The Pekin Dragons, 10-0, look to continue their marvelous season, facing the Ironmen of Normal Community. We are live down there on ClutchSportsIsle.com or on our main YouTube page, Clutch Sports Media. So give Larry Larson and John Camosa your attention. If you're not watching this game during a timeout or at halftime, make sure to head over there and check that one out as well. But we're here for some good Peoria and Kankakee football. Everybody's ready to go. The cowbells are out. It's time to go. Kays will kick off, so Peoria High starts with the ball in this 5A second round playoff contest. It is a very, very windy evening. You can likely hear it whistling through our headsets out in the elements. See if that has any bearing, and just as we suspected, there's the wind playing a factor already, falling off the tee, which again, even how this kickoff goes, Latif, that can affect the outcome, early in this game.
I think it's very important for, the Lions to get out to a good start, offense, get their momentum going, because if they get stopped, they've been prone to getting a rattle, especially with these weather conditions. They haven't played that well. The one game they lost this year has been very bad. It was way worse than this. But, the wind can play an effect, so I'm looking for them to run the ball a lot.
They will likely hand the ball off quite a bit. Malachi Washington and others will touch the ball a lot. The ball travels out of the end zone, and Peoria High will take over without a return. The Lions trot onto the field and ready to go. One of the big parts to this Lions offense is the offensive line. Got to get it done in the trenches. And of note, the Lions returned no returning starters coming into this year, but have filled out very nicely. Jaquarius Green, a freshman, one of those players. Here's our handoff. Malachi Washington.
On the carry for a pickup of 2.
He'll pick up 2 yards.
As we expected, they come out with the run to get a positive game, but that's a really positive sight for the Kays to get a stop on first down.
Want to let the fans know we do not have a scoreboard clock tonight, so if you think we're missing that, we don't have it. I'll keep you updated on the clock. Here's another handoff. Washington fighting for some yards, and he will fall forward. Will he have enough for a first down?
Carries again. Tackled by number 5, Karan Johnson, and
Just,
number 22.
just a little under a minute into this contest. Third and 1. Try to get him to jump there, no flag. Lions will run the play, hand it off again up the gut to Washington. Did he get it? Looks like he has enough, and they do. The chains are moving. 3 runs. You said you expect a lot of runs, Lateef. There you go.
You know, they're sticking to their game plan. They're going to run the ball until the K's literally stop them. So they won't really pass the ball until they get a comfortable lead, until they see a trend, you know, the K's stopping them.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Lions going for tonight. First down for Peoria High. 10:36 to go here in the first quarter. Hand it off again to Washington. He breaks free, breaks a couple tackles, and will stumble forward for a decent pickup around 7.
One of the Lions' biggest things, they really tire out the defense. You know, it's constantly running the ball. You know, the defense on the field so much. So the key for the K's today would be get out the field like really quickly. It's going to be very hard. They just keep running the ball. You know, 2-3 yard gains. You know, it don't have to be a big play all the time, but the 2-3 yard gains really tire them out.
Sure will. There's another big run right there, and he'll stumble forward just near midfield, a few yards short, and it'll be a Peoria High first down. 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Malachi Washington, the workhorse. 5 rush attempts in the first 2 minutes of the game. You mentioned maybe opening up to the pass a little bit. We'll see what they do. Tino Gist, junior quarterback. They'll hand it off again. He's met in the backfield, though. He will go forward for a few yards. Kenyon Chandler was the first to make contact. Couldn't fully bring him down, but good contact. And again, K's getting a little more aggressive on the defensive line.
You can see they're really loading the box more, forcing Peoria to pass the ball. But that's the first play that really got him back in the backfield, so that's very more a win for the K's.
They're going to pass this time. Nowhere to go. Nobody was home. Looks like a little miscommunication there. Now it's a 3rd and long, so K's trying to get him off the field. This would be a really good opportunity to do so.
Yeah, you probably see another pass from the Lions here. Coach Hart is really like loading that box, forcing them to pass the ball. You know, their corners are really good, so forcing them to pass will really be the good option. That was a short screen pass last play. Came up incomplete.
To the near side nonetheless. Not a lot of room to work with. Similar formation though. Kankakee sidelines getting hyped up. Big 3rd down here. Tries to get him to jump, and they will throw a flag. That's the 2nd near jump. They got him that time. The hard count gets him. Guess you got to stay disciplined. You think, you know, they're playoff teams, but a lot of emotions. You got to stay disciplined.
That's a gut-wrenching penalty. They were almost got them off the field. I talked about earlier how long the defense is on the field against the Lions, and they were almost off the field right there. But you know, the penalty was changed up closer. Now they can run the ball.
They run the ball, but he's not going to have enough right there. Coming up big there. Muhammad Armour coming in for the stop for the K's, and it'll bring up a 4th, decently long for a 4th down. 8:51 to go here in the first quarter. Again, Lions pretty unorthodox. They're not bringing the punt unit out. I don't know if the punt unit really exists with Peoria High. Offense is the game. Trying to get him to jump again.
I'm anticipating a short pass right here, a quick pass.
Could very well be so. Gist takes the hands it off to Washington. He'll fall forward. Did he get enough? It looks like he does, and a first down for Peoria High, and just oh so close. Couldn't quite make the stop.
Coach Thornton took their risk on the 4th and 3, and it really paid off right there. You know, they threatened the pass, but they just go right back to giving it back to Malachi.
Malachi Washington, we don't have official stats. We'll work on getting those perhaps, but Already several rushes, man in motion. Hands it off to Washington once again, and he'll chew off a big chunky yardage right there. That'll get him about 6 or 7, making a second and short.
You think Malachi would have a lot of college offers, but he really, he has some smaller interest from some D1 schools, but he's really a star for this Peoria offense. They really go as he goes. Maybe 1 year at a smaller school, he goes to a bigger school. I'd give him a lot of recognition.
Sure can. They're gonna roll out. Here's Gist throwing over to the flat. Oh, nice defense right there. Coming in on making the stop, Tyrone Kennedy Jr. Junior, 5'11", 130. He's one of the big speedy parts to the K's secondary. A lot of speed back there for the K's. It's kind of a staple of their defense. Athletic, very dynamic, brings up 3rd down, 7:34 to go in the first quarter.
Really interesting. They have Tyrone on Ricky Hearn, who's the Peoria's best receiver. You would think they'll have, one of the heels on him. But, that just shows the versatility they have as a defense.
They do have a lot of versatility, very deep defense. 4th and short now. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Looks like it's going to be about 4th and 1. To no surprise, Peoria High going for it once again. I would probably think it's a Malachi Washington handoff sort of play. Indeed it is, and he will burst forward for the first down. Again, getting close. Kankakee making some big stops, but they can't do it for 4 downs.
They've already taken 4 minutes off of the clock, or 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. Time of possession is going to be really big in this game.
Time of possession will be big indeed. Again, no score clock on the score bug there. Apologies for that. I'll keep you updated on the time. 6:45 left to go. Hands it off again here on 1st down to Washington. Bring up 2nd down, not much going on there. Stephen Young, maybe one of the more unappreciated parts to this K's defense on the defensive line. He's got some smaller school interests, but a big senior leader. 6'2", 295. He's an imposing force there on the line. Here's Gist, takes it again, hands it off. Stumbling through, still on his feet. Malachi Washington will have enough for another Peoria High 1st down, and they just can't bring him down, Latif.
Malachi is showing his dominance on a very bright stage in the playoffs. He showed it all regular season, but he's continuing to the playoffs. They're trying to get his team to a state championship.
Trying to get him, the team there in his senior campaign. Has a few more games to get there. Hands it off again, bursts through a hole, and he'll get a few solid yards right there. And gotta think though, the holes they're opening up there on the offensive line. How about some of those Lions there in the trenches? Again, mentioned no returning starters coming into the year. Freshman Jaquarius Green, Dominic Batista, a senior, AJ Roscoe, a junior. Here's another handoff, breaks a tackle, keeps going, and a big hit right there.
Flags are out, I believe.
Did we see some flags fly? Still checking on that.
I was just going to say, Gavin, we give a lot of credit to Malachi Washington, but his offensive line is really playing well, opening up a lot of holes. He has great vision, great speed, so them open up the holes just allow him to get yards on every single play.
3rd and 1. 3rd and short here. It's, of course, 4 down territory always. Got a couple tries to get into a 1st and goal situation. Tried to get him to jump again, no dice. 5 minutes remain in the first quarter. Here's the handoff, up the gut. Is he gonna have enough for a 1st down? And it will be 1st and goal.
1st down Lions, 1st and goal from the 3.
3 yards to go, and they have just slow and steady, but they've gotten down the field, Latif, and this has been a really good opening possession for Peoria High.
You can see some of the K's holding their hands on their hips. They're very, very tight out there, having to try to tackle Malachi every single play, then they score.
And they score. They finish off the long drive with a Lions touchdown.
Very good, efficient first drive for the Lions. Great way to get momentum. Great way to get their defense a lot of rest before the game even starts, so they can come out sharp and stop the K's on the first drive.
The defense will be fresh. coming in, but so will the K's offense. They'll look to have a response on their first offensive possession. 4:47 to go in the first quarter. That was a long drive from Peoria High. They will go for two as they always do. Hands it up the gut. Will he have enough? It looks like he's going to be short, so the K's hold. 6 points for the Lions. And that's where we end the first possession. Let's take a quick, brief moment to check out our sponsors for tonight's game. First of all, Jody Brown in Peoria. Call Jody 309-693-1103 or visit jodybrown.agency.com for all your insurance needs in Peoria. And how about all our good neighbors in the Peoria area? Along with Jody Brown, Zach Butler in Pekin, Jake Weston in Washington. You see their phone numbers on the screen and websites. Your good neighbors in Peoria, give any of those three a call for your insurance needs today. First drive, a successful one for Peoria High. They put up 6, no good on the 2-point conversion. What's it going to take for Kankakee to make a response of their own?
You know, they're a good running team too, so I thought they were going to come out, run the ball as well, test that Lions defensive line, but that Lions defensive line is very, very good. So you might maybe have to try to test some corners. But I think on the first drive, the K's got a small moral victory. They didn't allow the Lions to get the 2-point conversion. And the 2-point conversion will be really big to this game. So, small victory for them.
Small victories indeed. It looks like they're going to line up for the onside kick as they always do. Here it goes. And a flag. No, they're going to be whistling it dead. It'll be on Peoria High. False start on the kickoff, so they will back up and try it again. Might be a little baffled by the onside kick try, but that's just how Peoria High rolls. I mean, whatever works, I suppose.
They have a lot of faith in their defense. You know, giving the offense very good field position. But I think they probably should change. He really dropped that ball right there, so they're lucky for the penalty. They should be expecting the onside kick after every single score.
They should. Hands team up on the front there. Ready to kick it off again. Little trick play here. Kicks it over to the near side, and they will recover. They'll be at the 45-yard line, so a short field for the K's. Again, no surprise. Peoria High knows what they're getting into when they're doing that. But it does set the K's up well on their first possession.
It's going to be really instrumental for the K's to take advantage of this field position, even to score or possibly go up. So
they will try to do so. The K's have a variety of offensive weapons. Carson King, James Stampley, Tony Phillips, Demir Turner, just to name a few, and we'll hear so many other players' names throughout this game.
Carson King is a dynamic weapon. He has 6 receptions for 61 yards and a 30-yard pass as well. So Coach Hart, he likes to first play, really big gain.
Really big gain indeed.
Oh, a flag is out there.
Flag after the play, and it looks like it's going to be maybe on Kankakee. Kevin Roberts of Peoria High throwing his arms up, and a holding call is the first flag we see of the game, other than, of course, that false start on the kickoff. So negate the run. It looked good, though.
Okay, it's a really good running team. They have a very good offensive line, headlined by Marquez Easley. You know, he has around 5 D1 offers. He's a 3-star. Really, he's 6'7", really huge kid. So they have a lot of huge kids on that offensive line right there. It allows them to run the ball really well.
Easily no stranger to this stadium. 2 years as a Peoria Manual Ram before making the transfer to Kankakee this year. A lot of big bodies in the trenches. Here we go again off after the penalty. A few solid yards right there. Peoria High fired up though. Bring up a 2nd and long.
Yeah, the K's are a really good run team. Lawrence Walters, the quarterback, only averages around 156 passing yards a game. So they'll keep running it until they force him to pass. Then he'll make a play.
Demir Turner there on the handoff. He'll get a few back. Gain of around 4. 2nd and long. Right near midfield. He's going to drop back to pass. Going deep. Turning around. Does he have it? He does. Big reception for the K's. But a flag is back.
Carson King on a great reception. You know, he almost bobbled at the end, but it will come back. Like I said before we started their drive, Carson King is a very dynamic playmaker.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call, which is a really unfortunate call because that was another excellent play from the K's. Again, just got to tighten it up a little bit, get a little more disciplined. So that'll back them up even farther.
Two gut-wrenching penalties, you know, and 2 positive plays. Really not a good sign for the offense. They got to be a lot more disciplined. You know, give their defense a chance to rest a little bit.
Sure do. 3:51 to go on the clock. First quarter. Coach is unhappy. Coaching staff not favorable with the calls from Kankakee. So some early action here. Again, emotions running high.
Fans are not too happy as well.
Indeed they aren't. Trying to sort some things out right here. Officials still talking with the Kankakee coaching staff. Trying to figure out exactly what happened here. Again, it was unsportsmanlike conduct call on Kankakee. But it looks like they'll be moving slightly forward. Just not enough for a big gain like they had.
Maybe they, took the penalty off, the gain that they.
After the play.
Okay, after the play.
Get the PA announcer let us know. So we're back to 1st and 10 somehow from the 45. If anybody's a former official, go ahead and let us know in the chat there. Back right where we started, 1st and 10. Beyond me, here we go, here's the handoff. Turner gets it, he's gonna slip in the backfield. And the Lions, do they have the ball? No signal yet. Lions think they may have recovered a fumble. If nothing else, it is a loss. No fumble there. Loss of 4 on the play. Boy, that would have been a big turning point right there.
Yeah, not a fumble, but it was a very big stop. Demir Turner Jr. ran right into a wall of Lions defenders right there. Had really nowhere to go.
3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lions line up in the trenches, nobody in the secondary. Hands it off again, trying to come to the near side. Breaking the edge there, nowhere to go, and he'll lose a couple more.
Carry by number 8, Tony Phillips, brought down behind the line by number 10, Kenny Rutherford.
Kenny Rutherford making the play.
I think Tony Phillips actually made a lot out of that play. You know, he was initially stopped back in the backfield, but he showed really his speed to get outside the edge, but he couldn't turn the corner, and Kenny Rutherford Jr. tackled him.
2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. An odd sequence of events here for the K's on their first offensive possession of the game. A lot of penalties, a lot of odd happenings. Tried to get him to jump, no penalty. Wind picks up, whistling through Peoria Stadium. 3rd and long. Drops back to pass. Walters up. Flag on the play, and it's going to be a pass interference on the Lions and new life for the K's.
Yeah, so finally a penalty goes in their favor. One thing with defensive pass interference, I just feel like it was so much fighting on that play. You know, they always give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. You flop a little bit and they'll call it, but nevertheless, they will move forward.
They will move forward. Carson King, the intended receiver there. Couple of deep shots early on, but are we moving backwards?
They might have actually called offensive interference. So 3 early penalties on the K's has really been detrimental to their first drive.
Not so fast, say the officials. Although I'm thoroughly confused, Latif.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a sequence like this of so many penalties going back and forth between the two teams, but they've really been calling it on the K's, but they've been moving forward, moving backwards. It's really confusing.
Great broadcasters we are, knowing what's going on. It's going to be a 3rd and 4 in some fashion after a penalty. A assuming it was on Kankakee now. So 3rd and 4. Tried to get him to jump, and a flag right there. That should give them a first down. Now, again, I come to expect anything at this point, Latif. It will indeed be on Peoria High, and Kankakee will indeed finally get that first down they've been looking for.
So 2 very long drives from both teams, from Lions because of the running game, but this, this drive has been because of a lot of penalties. Both teams looking pretty undisciplined right now.
A lot of flags flying, a lot of laundry on the field. 2 minutes to go. Hands it off again, headed to the far side. A flag flies. This one may be coming back on a hold, and again, a myriad of penalties that we've seen so far.
Despite the penalty, that was Tony Phillips again, showing his speed, showing his vision, getting to the outside right there for a good game. But it's probably coming back because of a hold.
Lawrence Walters not thrilled with it, and it will be a hold on the Kankakee offense. A lot of penalties here on this first drive from Kankakee, and just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. If you just joined us, Peoria High, slow and steady, methodical drive. A lot of Malachi Washington runs. Got them in for 6. No good on the 2-point conversion. In the last few minutes here, it's been Kankakee with the ball. A lot of penalties, a lot of back and forth, a lot of nearly big plays, unfortunately called back. Now you put the K's back around the 43-yard line after just yet another holding call for a 1st and long. This game's had everything. Dropping back to pass. Walters throws deep. It's going to be over his receiver's head. Carson King in the K's sideline wanted a flag there for a hold or pass interference, but no dice.
Carson King has got really all the targets tonight. He's really been eating. I feel like he's been beating his man a lot, but, Lorenzo Waters overthrew him right there. He was open.
Carson King had a big week, big season overall. 357 yards, by far the K's leading receiver. 2nd and 22.
I think it'd be a good idea for Coach Hart to call a timeout right here, get his team together, try to stop all the penalties that's going on.
Would be a little not on the same page so far. A lot of emotions though, big playoff game. 2nd and 22. Plenty of pressure from Peoria High. Here they come. Walters has to drop out and run. He's got some space to go. There he goes, and he'll get out of bounds. He'll get a big chunky yardage back there, making a 3rd and much more manageable. Nice run right there from Lawrence Walters. He'll make it around a 3rd and 9.
Great play right there. First he saw his first couple possessions, saw it wasn't there, and decided to take off and run, showing his good, dual threat ability right there. It's always nice to have the threat of both throwing and passing with a quarterback.
Sure is, and didn't run a lot throughout the year. Lawrence Walters was pretty much deemed in the pocket, didn't have to go too much. Good offensive line for the K's. He'll take it again. He's going to keep it himself, though, on cue. He'll get a few yards, pushing forward in a hole. Pride Alliance comes in to push him backwards, but he'll pick up a few on forward progress. Now you have a 4th and a decent length to go. What's the call here, Latif?
Kicking in high school football is really spotty. Either you have a good kicker or you have a terrible one. So I think they stay aggressive right here, stay on the field. They even got some really good chunk plays, but they've been, called back by penalty. So I think they open up here with a pass, a little short, quick pass, just to move the chains.
4th and 4, just under a minute to go in the first quarter. Tried to get him to jump. K's look to the sideline. He'll take the snap and a stoppage of play. It'll be a timeout right on cue for the Kankakee K's. We'll take this moment to thank our sponsors for this evening. State Farm agent Jody Brown in Peoria. You can give her a call, 309-693-1103, or visit jodybrown.agency.com. Also, our other good neighbors in the Peoria area, Jake Weston in Washington, Zach Butler in Pekin. We thank State Farm for their support of Clutch Sports Media and high school athletics all throughout this great football season we've had. Again, if you need to tune out for any reason, at halftime, During a timeout like this, flip over and check out the Pekin taking on Normal Community on the Clutch Sports Media's main YouTube page or on clutchsportsil.com. Dragons and Ironmen in a 7A bout. A couple of local powerhouse teams. Pekin 10-0, the perfect season so far. Looking to keep that going. Normal Community looking to defend home turf. Larry Larson, John Camosa on the call. Don't miss out on that one either, but thanks for sticking with us here on ClutchSportsIL.com and Clutch Sports Media 2. Kankakee trails Peoria 6-0. 46 seconds to go in the first quarter. Walters drops back the pass. Fourth down, gets his man. Flag on the play though. Carson King was the intended target and he'll get a flag. Presumably this is gonna go on Peoria High and will move the chains and give the K's favorable field position.
Big break for the K's coming out the timeout. You would think they would draw something up, short, just move the chains, but they go deep into the end zone for Carson Key. They've really been talking to him a lot, and he drawed the defensive pass interference.
Tough play right there. Again, can't leave him hardly open at all. He's catches just about everything that's thrown his way.
That was actually a great ball by the quarterback, Lorenz Waters, right there. Just couldn't get to it because of the pass interference. But after a couple of passes, I'm pretty sure they're going to go back to the run right here, deep in the Lions territory.
Into the red zone. First and goal. 41 seconds to go. Hands it back off. Out to the far side, trying to make a move. Makes a couple men miss. And is he going to get into the end zone? Just short of the goal. 32 seconds to go. 2-yard line. Nice run there right by Tony Phillips, and you mentioned it. Great burst of speed, especially when he gets some room to run.
A lot of his plays been called back about penalty, but he's showing his really good acceleration and really good vision. He takes a lot of good angles, getting to the outside a lot, and was able to get a good gain right there.
20 seconds to go. Takes it himself. Walters, is he going to get in? No, he's stuffed short. He's in for the touchdown, though. Lawrence Walters keeps it himself by an eyelash, gets it into the end zone. Kankakee ties the game up.
3 good runs I watched on that drive right there. It was a very long drive. We only have 2 drives in the whole entire quarter. I said it was going to be a really low-scoring game, but it's going to be really entertaining. It's really holding up to that kick team out. They're not going for 2 right here. Let's see if they can take the 7-6 lead.
1 point to take the lead early in this contest. The kick is up. It is good. K's take the lead 7-6. A very bizarre drive, if I must say, Latif, ends in a touchdown. The keeper, Lawrence Walters, the junior quarterback, keeps it 4-6 plus the extra point.
Got to be one of the craziest drives I've ever seen in my entire life watching football. But, they get it done, go up 7-6. I think it was really good that drive was long, give the defense a chance to rest for a long time. So the defense comes out and have to focus on stopping Malachi Washington, stopping that pass game.
15 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Again, apologies. Don't have a scoreboard cam. Can't give you the clock there on the scorebug. We'll do our best to keep you updated with the time on the clock. 15 seconds remain in the first quarter. 2 slow and methodical drives for both of these teams. They both end in scores. Likely the kickoff and perhaps one play will be ran. Kankakee will kick it deep. Ball falls off the tee. Very windy night here at Peoria Stadium, the ever historic Peoria Stadium. Played host to many instant classics. Could this be yet another? Certainly has the makings to do so.
Despite the windy weather, actually the K's did a good job passing the ball that drive. Really surprised. I thought it'd be a lot more running due to the wind. We'll see.
Here's the return. Gets out in open space. There goes. Nowhere to go though. He's brought down trying to make a cut back. Eli McFadden, lockdown corner and special teams member. Thought he had some space to run. Stopped quickly though. Although a nice return.
He's had a lot of good returns this year. One of the more memorable ones against Normal West that was called back due to a flag, but sets up the Lions in a good field position, And let's see what they do on this second drive of theirs.
8 seconds. Likely just one play to be ran right here before the first quarter break. Hands it off to Washington again. He'll get a few yards, pushing forward for a couple more, but eventually brought down, and that's how we'll end the first frame of play. Kankakee leads 7-6. Let's get a quick message from Uftrink.
The SUVs you want, the trucks you've been waiting for. Get yours today because it's go time at every Uftrink Auto Group dealer with our best new inventory in over a year. On the ground, inbound, and arriving daily. Plus more for your trade this week. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Thanks to Uftrink for sponsoring tonight's contest. Also brought to you by State Farm agent Jody Brown in Peoria. See the number and website on the screen. Make sure to give her a call for all your insurance needs in the Peoria area and all of our other good neighbors around Central Illinois. Jake Weston in Washington, Zach Butler in Pekin. Make sure to give them a call. Check out their websites or visit their offices located throughout Central Illinois. Appreciate their support of high school athletics and Clutch Sports Media.
Last play of the first quarter, it was a big run by Malachi Washington. A lot of the same stuff they did from the first quarter. We'll see how Coach Hart and the K's adjust to Malachi Washington.
Second and manageable here. 2nd and 6. Hands it off. Washington. Nowhere to go, though. Tied up quickly by the K's. He'll get a couple of yards. 3rd and a few to go.
I think the Lions did a good job right there opening up the hole, but the K's really quickly closed that. I think Malachi saw a lot of space, but then they quickly closed that hole right there.
Saw some green grass, thought he might have a lane. Kankakee says not so fast. Figuring out what they want to do. A little miscommunication, both sidelines. Here's Gist, drops back to pass. It's going to be a little bit of a screen pass. Breaks it through a tackle. Washington with a short reception, and he'll have more than enough for a first down. Jack of all trades, apparently, Latif. He's been the entire Peoria High offense so far.
Washington really showed his great ability to catch the ball as well as running. He almost got stopped right there in the backfield, but he broke the tackle and was able to get the first down.
Long line of great Peoria High running backs, tough, athletic, the complete package. He joins that group. And a stoppage. It's going to be false start on the play. Waiting on the signal there. It is a false start.
I think the linebackers for the K's have to play a lot better today. The corners played really well. In the limited times they have passed the ball, Tino just hasn't found much success. And you see on the K's, they have like their cornerbacks are like literally 6'3" and up. You know, you got Nazir, Jair, and then you got Canarius Chandler, all 6'3" physical cornerbacks right there.
Have a lot of length there in the secondary. Makes them very difficult to pass against. 1st and long for the Lions after the false start. Gonna fake the pass. Over, tried to do a bit of a screen pass, but nothing happening there, and K's just relentless on the defense. The pressure coming in. 10:33 left to go here in the second quarter.
So yeah, two screen passes on this play. Trying to mix it up from the run a lot. But I think it'll be better if they just stick to the run, unless they're going to throw the ball downfield and test those corners.
Here's another handoff. Washington finds some space to run, but he'll be stopped pretty quickly, and it's going to be 3rd and long now, 3rd and about 11.
You can see the K's have made a big adjustment, focusing more on the tackling, letting Malachi, they really pack in the middle, forcing Malachi to get out to the edge and then making the tackle.
3rd and 11. K's pressing up pretty closely. Not a lot of breathing room for Peoria High receivers. Here's Gist. He's going to drop back. Nowhere to go. Throws into no man's land. Wanted a flag there. Ricky Hearn thought he might have gotten tied up a little bit. No, nothing going. 4th and 11.
This play is really big. You know, they don't convert right here. They're going to be it's going to be very easy for the K's to score if they get the ball back right here. So this is going to be a big play for the offense and the defense. Get the defense off the field. This had to be a pass, 4th and 11. Let's see what the cornerbacks do.
Tries to get him to jump first of all. Gets the signal. They do some impromptu punts like that one right there, way up in the air. It's going to fall back and it's going to take a home bounce. Can they stop it before the goal line? He will, and what a punt there from Tino Gist. Kind of an impromptu punt, so they do employ the special teams a little bit.
That was really impressive too, just putting him inside the 1 yard line right there. Didn't even know Tino had a leg like that.
Tino does it all. Punter, quarterback, but now puts the K's in tough field position. They started at the 45-yard line on the last drive, so a short field to go. Now they've got 99 yards to go before they can find the end zone. 9:46 left to go, and a comparably much shorter drive there for Peoria High. Again, both teams took their time in the early going. K's hold that time. Got to think, though, Kankakee's looking to find a big chunk play here early on.
I think the smart thing to do probably, you know, run the ball, get them a little space from the end zone, because this could possibly be a safety if they don't be careful. Oh, they draw them off sides. That was smart.
Very smart play indeed. A little undisciplined there on the side of Peoria High, so that's going to give him 5 yards of breathing room. Still tucked in near the goal line, but it'll put him on the 6. 1st and 5 now.
Offsides on the line.
Big opportunity perhaps squandered there for Peoria High. Despite the flag right there, pretty good Lions defensive line. Kevin Roberts, Landon Newby-Holsom hands it off again, breaks a couple tackles. He'll be short of a first down.
Carry for the K's brought down by number 10,
Kenny Rutherford. Kenny and Gary Rutherford, both staples to this Peoria High defense.
Both of the brothers are very versatile. You know, sometimes Kenny Rutherford even plays, you know, quarterback when Tino is having a bad game or he goes down with an injury or something like that. So he's very, very versatile.
Very versatile indeed.
Design QB run right here.
Lawrence Walters keeps it himself, forcing him out of bounds, makes a decent tackle right there. Eli McFadden. He's been another big part to this Peoria High defense. He's had some looks from some D1 schools. Went to some visits, Western Illinois, a few others, I believe. He's been a lockdown corner, but has to come up and make a stop on the QB right there. First down for Kankakee. Just under 9 minutes now, 8:57 and counting on the clock. Second quarter.
Coach Hart doing a great job of utilizing his quarterback's legs in the early going of this game.
He'll hand it off to his running back to use his legs, though. James Stampley, sophomore, transfer from St. Rita this year. Again, one of the many weapons Kankakee has, comparably a quiet year to some of his teammates, but productive, 223 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns in the regular season for sophomore James Stampley. Again, a lot of different looks, a lot of different packages Hart can run with his K's offense. High snap, hands it back to Stampley. Stampley gets some green grass and then brought down after he picks up a first down. Kankakee moving with some efficiency here.
Coming over from St. Rita, you know, that's a big football school, a big private school right there. You know, it had to be a little adjustment coming from St. Rita, Kankakee, but he's handling it well. I believe he did almost fumble at the end of that, but, you know, good drive, good game for him there.
First down, 7:56 and counting. Windy evening in Peoria. Lions stack the box again, and no flag. Looked like they may have jumped off sides. Eager to get over there. Nearly drawn him off sides again. Walters takes it back. He's going to pass. Going deep. Got his man, does he? No, it is incomplete. Nearly had him popped in and out when he hit the ground. That would have been a tough reception, but they had an opportunity. Eli McFadden on the coverage.
They've been throwing the ball deep a lot when they don't run the ball. They need to mix in some, some intermediate routes. Get the quick passes to be more efficient. They're trying a lot of the big yardage plays every single time, unless when it's really predictable. And they're not running the ball.
See if they switch it up at all. Walter's going to keep it himself. Had success with his legs. He gets to the far side. Will pick up several yards right there before he's forced out of bounds by the Lions defense. Walter's not much of a rushing quarterback throughout the regular season, but he's already has a rushing touchdown tonight. Ran several times on keeper plays. Perhaps it's a game of chess Derek Hart's playing with the Peoria High defense. Again, no shortage of weapons, but employing maybe something they weren't expecting.
Walter's got to make sure he gets down and slides there, protect himself. So he's a really big part of this offense, so you have to make sure he's really sliding and protecting himself when he's running the ball.
3rd and long right here. Crowd gets loud for 3rd down. 3rd and 8 on the play.
Pass play coming here. Oh, they go out the Wildcat.
They go out the Wildcat. Here's Jair Hill. Comes around to the outside, but a nice tackle right there. Jair Hill does get in on the offense too, although he's a defensive anchor for this K's team. Hill does get on the offensive action as well. He's listed as an athlete, and that's exactly what he is. 4th and 5. What will the K's do?
I think the smart thing to do here would be probably punt the ball. They're deep in their territory. They don't want to give the Lions a chance to score and take the lead, especially as close to their own end zone. But they might go for it 4th and 5 here. Very risky call, trying to draw them off sides.
Perhaps they will try to draw them off sides. It'd be a short field for the Lions. Staying out there, though, here's Lawrence Walters. He does make the snap. It's fumbled. Coming around, and the fumbled snap goes against Kankakee. It'll give the Lions the ball on a turnover on downs. 5:39 to go in the 2nd quarter.
Might be a fatal mistake right there by Coach Hart staying on the field right there. Not only did they not convert on the 4th down, they went backwards on that play. We'll see how that decision affects the game. Really short field. The Lions might just hand it off to Malachi for 5 straight plays and score right here.
Very likely a possibility. Would not shock us. See if the Kankakee defense can make another stand. Force Peoria High to punt on their last drive. They're trading scores on their opening drives. Both teams now give the ball away. 3 receivers out for Peoria High. Gist takes the snap. He's going to look back. He's going to pass over the middle. Wide open. He hits his man for the touchdown. Tino Gist with the touchdown and adds 6 more for Peoria High.
It came out and shocked me right there. Come on the pass. That was a very, very great play call by Coach Tim Thornton. And that was over Jair Hill. He almost had the interception though. I think it went straight through his hands. That was a gusty play right there by Tino to throw it to the highly touted cornerback.
Nas Hill had a beat on it. Not bad coverage. Just couldn't make the play, but great execution from Peoria High. Running for 2 here. Throws over. Nothing happening. They're 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions, but they will take the lead. 1 play. It'll be a touchdown for the Lions. Tino Gist hooks up with TQ Webb, the sophomore receiver. And you said you expect Washington to maybe take it for a few handoffs and score, but Coach Thornton had different ideas.
Yeah, beautiful throw by Tino Gist. Great delivery and great catch over the highly touted cornerback.
Peoria High will take the lead. 5:33 to go in the 2nd quarter. Again, apologies, no clock on the score bug right there, so we'll keep you posted on the time if you were wondering. 12-7. Peoria High 2 touchdowns here in the first half. No good on both of their 2-point conversion tries. So the Lions will kick it off. Rather, they will onside kick it more than likely. see what they dial up here. They will kick it short, and it did not go the full distance, but Kankakee recovers anyway. Still have it at the 49-yard line, half the field to go. Had a score on their first drive. Latif couldn't do much on their last one. What do you think they go to here early on in their third drive?
In their second drive, they really went to the passing game. I think they go back to the running game, test this Lions defense, and see how they react to that.
Gotta test it out. See what they can do here. 5:33 to go in the second quarter. Hands it off here. Coming around the outside, a big block right there. Pushing forward. Demir Turner on the carry. Injured K heads over to the sideline quickly. It looks like it is Demir Turner. Hopefully he's all right.
He's a big part of this K's offense. Hopefully, it was just,
perhaps a little shaken up. It was a big hit. Big block, though, right there before him.
Probably just knocked the wind out of him.
Here's 2nd down and 7. Nearly met in the backfield, but he breaks the tackle. Another big block right there. Up comes Marquez Easley. Makes some big blocks, opening up some holes.
Yeah, so like I said before the drive, they probably go back to the running game, stick to what was working for them. They've completed some good passes, but most of their yardage has been on penalties in the passing game, but they go back to the run and see how this Lions defense reacts.
First down for for Kankakee. Some big blocks, though, right there. Got a lot of athletic players, great playmakers for Kankakee, but again, it starts in the trenches. Big holes here on this third drive of the game. Pitches it out. Has some room to run on the near side. Breaks one tackle, but he'll get forced out of bounds after a short gain.
It's Tony Phillips right there. He's really showing out. Speed, great acceleration. Good game for the K's.
Tony Phillips is one of the most efficient players that we've seen throughout the regular season. 455 yards, 6 touchdowns on 50 carries. That equals out to 9.1 yards per carry. He is very efficient, explosive for the K's. 2nd and manageable. Trips up here, and there's a flag, comes in very quickly.
Not only is he very efficient, his vision and patience is very great. That's what really helps him get that 9 yards per game. The patience to let the blocks develop and then keep going for the run.
We'll wait what the flag is here. It came in very quickly after the start of the run. And it'll be a false start on Kankakee. Rather illegal procedure. So it'll back the K's up. Penalties, an early theme in the first quarter. Settled down quite a bit. Both of these teams finding the routine of this game. Back a couple penalties, though, as of recent. Kankakee will have 2nd and 12 now. Just past midfield.
Penalties have been really detrimental to the K's. A lot of their big plays come back because of penalties. They got to be more disciplined in the second half. Got to try to get out this quarter with a lead.
Coach Hart will certainly be preaching discipline in the locker room. Figuring out the spot on the ball. So it's officially going to be now about a 2nd and 9. Get him a couple yards back there. 2nd and 8. Walters in the shotgun. Tries to get him to jump again. Nothing going. 3:18 and counting in the second quarter. Phillips moves over. Far side. Walters, shotgun. He's going to take it. He's going to pass it. Carson King all day to throw. Who has it? Is it picked off? It is picked off. Peoria High gets the ball and forces a turnover.
Coach Thornton, he went out with with the onside kick, and it pays off. He has really a lot of trust in his defense right there. They've really been targeting Carson King, not many of the other receivers. And he just lofted the ball. He was really open right there. He got open, but he lofted the ball too high up there and allowed him to get the interception.
Wind in his face, wind is howling. I have to think that may have played a factor. Lofted it way up there. So the K's turn it over. First turnover of the game we've seen. Moving quickly is Peoria High. They'll pass. Finds a wide open man up the sideline. Nothing but green grass. Will he catch him? He dives. No dice. Touchdown Peoria High.
76-yard touchdown pass.
Coach Thornton, like I said, after they get the running game going, get a lead in the first half, they really open up the passing game to try to, to surprise the defense. So the last two drives, they opened up with passes and 76-yard struck right there by Tino Gist. I said before the game started that Tino going to have to play really well today in order for the Lions to win. In this first half, he's been playing really well, and they're up 21-7 right now, or 18-7.
What a pass right there from Tino Gist. Second of the day, and the Lions will go for two once again. 2:51 to go in the second quarter. Hands it up the gut. Will they get in? Looks like they're going to be held short once again. No good, but yet another touchdown for the Peoria High Lions. They strike for 76-yard touchdown pass. Tino Gist, second of the day. And Coach Thornton getting aggressive. We know they're an aggressive team. We know they like to play up-tempo. One thing, talked to him a couple weeks ago prior to the playoffs starting, he mentioned they are just a team that wants to play high tempo throughout the entire game. First quarter to fourth quarter, it does not matter. Really starting to dial it up right there.
I'm really surprised to see that these corners have been getting beat on these last two drives. They're really stellar, really long, really fast. So I'm really surprised that Coach Thornton has been calling so many pass plays in his win as well. Lions really been struggling when the weather is not in their favor. But Tino has been playing really well to start this second quarter specifically.
Tino has come up big. The junior, guy that really grew a lot for this Peoria High offense after starting as a sophomore. He's gotten so much better.
And you might think, they get the lead, they might come out more conservative, but no, they stay on it, they keep the foot on the opponent's neck, keep being aggressive, and we'll see how that plays out for them for the rest of the game.
Carson King on the recovery, so it'll put him back starting at the 49-yard line, exactly where they started their last drive. 2:51 remaining in the first half. Peoria High, 2 consecutive passing touchdowns on their last 2 drives. Tino Gist finding his receivers and letting them do the rest of the work.
What's most surprising about the game today, Kankakee only has been allowing 6 points per game, and the Lions already have 18 in the first half with nearly 3 minutes to go.
Some confusion here.
You got to think maybe the K's haven't faced this high-powered of an offense the entire year, so they have to adjust. Halftime can be really big for them to see how they adjust throughout this game.
They have played some good teams, but probably nobody like Peoria High. Very unorthodox team. Not that that's a bad thing. Just a different style probably than they've seen all season long. It's a game of adjustments, though. There's a whole nother half to play. Still very closely contested so far. They've played the likenesses of some of the best from northern half of Illinois, Chicagoland area and suburbs. Nazareth Academy, Crete Monet, a couple of the teams that they've played. They lost to both of those in close matchups. We'll get a false start right here after some confusion.
Flag on the play.
And playing Crete Monet, that was a really like a run-heavy game, low-scoring 25-22. And so I think they really expected the Lions come out here and run every play, but Tino's been opening the passing game up. And so let's see how the K's adjust. But right now they're on offense, hoping to get a score to make this game a little bit closer.
Takes the ball right here out of the Wildcat again, and he'll get a good chunky yardage back right there. It'll put him back about 2nd and 10. Jair Hill. Hill had a big part to the K's offense last season when they run it up in Class 5A. Certainly still gets in on the action from time to time, but with a whole host of Ks to work with on the offensive side keeps him on the defensive side of the ball more often than not. He'll stay out there for 2nd and 10. Wildcat again, goes back to it. Nowhere to go. He'll lunge forward for a few more. 3rd and around 8.
Down by number 10, Kenny Rutherford, with an assist by 3, Phil Ellis.
3rd and fairly long here. 2 straight Wildcat plays to bring Walters back out here. Maybe another pass, Latif?
We'll see. I think they go back to the running game. They had Hill in there for the Wildcat for a couple of plays, just, change it up, get the defense something they haven't seen all night. But, see, they come out. Oh.
Fumbled the snap right there. Throws it over to the near side. Sliding is his receiver,
Pass complete.
Carson King. There's a flag, though, on the play. Peoria High believes it's going to be on Kankakee.
So they do come out and pass after 2 straight runs. Maybe you're losing confidence in Walters after the interception and a couple drives where they didn't score. But I believe this penalty will be on the K's, and they will be moving back.
It will be a holding call. First of a few we've seen tonight. 3rd, and it's going to be long now. Walters again threw an interception. It's tough elements, it's throwing into the wind. Great coverage by the Peoria High secondary. Again, Peoria High a much improved defense this year. So it's going to back them way up.
The Lions defense really starts with their, front 7, really elite front 7, one of the best in the state, and then it falls back on their 2 lockdown quarters, McFadden and Rutherford.
One of the first times tonight we've seen Peoria High employ a safety. Ricky Hearn back there, roaming about 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage. We'll move up a little bit more. 1:35 to go on 3rd and 25, dare I say country mile territory.
And I think, Coach Dorton put that safety in there because they've really been taking a lot of deep shots. And, Ricky Hearn is actually wide receiver, so they know if he does make a play, he will come down with the catch.
Some more whistles. Peoria High thought maybe a timeout was called. Some discussion on the sideline from the Kankakee staff. They'll line up, though, again here. 1:36, rather they added 1 second to the clock. Here to go in the half. 1 safety back, everybody else up close. More whistles. And now we're going to get a timeout from Peoria High.
Timeout, Peoria High, their first of the half.
Let's do a little recap here. If you joined us late here on ClutchSportsSal.com, Clutch Sports Media 2. Recap this one a little bit. 2 slow drives in the first quarter, and we start right there. Peoria High got a score on their first drive, so did Kankakee, but both very slow pace in the first quarter.
First quarter, it was a lot of running, but in the second quarter, the first drive for Peoria, they came out with a lot of running, and then Malachi scored. But then the 3rd and 4th drives for the Lions, they came out and passed the ball, and 2 quick strikes for 2 touchdowns. Really surprised the K's defense.
Sure has. Some nearly big plays, though, nearly picked off by Nas Hill. Just fell through his hands. That was the first of 2 passing touchdowns from Tino Gist. TQ Webb on the first receiving touchdown. I believe it was Ricky Hearn on the second one. 2 great receivers from Peoria High, and they had a big week last week as well. Not quite this impressive, but certainly the Lions can do it all offensively, and they've displayed it so far tonight. Now it's the K's turn. What can they do? 3rd and 25. Tries to get him to jump after the timeout. Walters in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back. He's going to pass. Medium route right there. Tried to hit his man on the comeback, but nothing going. Now 4th and really long, and certainly the K's will punt right here.
I think the goal of that play right there was just to get a little bit of yards back, not try to get the whole 25 yards in one play, but it was a lot of miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver right there, and the ball falls incomplete. 1
minute and 33 seconds to go in the first half. And will they punt? Walters stays out on the field. 4th and 25.
They will be going for some type of punt, you know, going for it on 25 yards ago would be crazy.
We'll get a timeout here before the likely punt. Minute 30 on the clock here in the end of the first half. Wrapping things up. How about a score? Our other game of the week on clutchsportsisle.com. Our main YouTube page. Normal Community leading Pekin at the break, 21-18. Community on the home turf looking to advance. Pekin falling short by 3 right now, but that is an entertaining matchup you're not going to want to miss. I'm sure they'll start their second half up a little before us, so tune in over there if you get an opportunity. Certainly an exciting matchup in the 7A realm. One of the biggest 7A matchups south of the Chicagoland area. Back here, though, in Peoria. We know they like to keep their foot on the gas pedal, but how aggressive do you get with a little time left as we run down the first half? Do you try to take another shot, Latif?
I think Coach Thornton comes out with a couple of runs just to you know, chew the clock a little bit, but then, you know, you'll see Tino take a strike to try to score. They're not going to go for a field goal, so we'll have to see like a big play sometime before this half ends. Scoring right here, we're really like just almost put the game away in the first half for the Lions. So getting a big defense stop right here for the K's will be really good for them. Already down 18-7. And they will come out and pass. Tino rolls out, short little pass.
Landon Newby Wholesome switching up the jersey number tonight to number 0.
He did a good job right there getting out of bounds as well, stop the clock.
So don't take a big shot right there, but the passing game has been on point from Tino Gist, and certainly one of the things that Peoria High is looking forward most next year, having him back as a senior. He's only getting better. TQ Webb will be back next year as well. He's going to hand it off, though. Washington gets his first carry in a while. Minute 7 and counting now. We'll wrap down the first half.
It's really good. They got Malachi on rest right there. He had to do so much as he usually has to do every single game. So he'll be really fresh for the second half, which is really big for the Lions.
See if they open up a hole for him. 48 seconds now to go in the second quarter. Fakes the handoff over the middle. Nothing going on. No flag, and Ricky Hearn wanted a little contact, though, but it was nice coverage right there. Tyrone Kennedy Jr. Nice coverage.
Tyrone has been really locked up this whole entire game. None of the completions have really been on him. You know, actually he's been on their highly touted cornerback, Nazir Hill and Jair Hill. So those two guys had to step up in the second half, you know, set an example for the rest of the team.
Gist turns around, throws. Nearly intercepted, though, a bobbled ball by Ricky Hearn on a dangerous throw. Not much time for Gist, 37 seconds, and it'll bring 4th down. Very quick drive here for Peoria High. Not much time left to go on the clock. Fully expect them to go for it.
That was almost a heads-up play by Michael Bannerman, the defensive tackle. Almost came down. That would have been a very big momentum shift for the K's.
Sure would have been. Thornton gives the signal from the Peoria High sideline. Gist, Newby Wholesome, Malachi Washington in the backfield. Tries to get him to jump, and they do jump.
Penalties have been really detrimental for the K's. They got to go into this half, and I'm guessing Coach Hart has to be screaming and cussing and everything, trying to get them to be way more disciplined than they have been. That would have been a big stop before the half, but they leave the door open for the Lions to score again before this half.
It's 4th and short, though. Lions still have to execute. See what they go to right here. Landon Newby Wholesome got involved on a short route earlier in this drive. 37 seconds to go. Tries to get him to jump again. Nothing going. Looks to the sideline. Gist, once again, takes it. Hands off to Washington. He'll fight forward. He'll have some yardage. Break some more tackles, and he'll have enough for a first down. And it'll be a timeout here. And a flag comes in late. Late flag. Thornton was signaling for a timeout immediately, and he'll walk onto the field. Officials get together. And it'll be on the defense.
Flag on the play, personal foul.
Personal foul. Likely a face mask. Didn't really get a good look at what it could have been. Some good heads-up running from Malachi Washington. So now the Lions will have even more favorable field position. With around 30 seconds to go, I'm not sure the clock started completely there. Maybe a little clock malfunction.
Yeah, and I wish you had some official stats on these penalties. It has to be like at least like maybe like 7 or 8 for like 50 or so yards. It's been really detrimental for the K's. And now the Lions move closer where they have the ability to run the ball and pass. They're being so deep in the red zone.
Plenty of options for Peoria High. Into the red zone they go. 35 seconds is what's still on the clock. That's what they'll leave it at. Timeout Peoria, and clock remains stopped. Official gives the signal, we're ready to go. In close, man in motion. Hands it off to Washington again. He'll break around, up the middle, through, into the end zone, touchdown Lions!
Malachi Washington.
Very, very big momentum, booster for the Lions right there, getting the touchdown right before half. And it's really 3 big things that stood out for me for the K's. First is the penalties have been really detrimental for them. And then it was a call by Coach Hart to go for it on 4th down and 5, which led to a Peoria touchdown.
Definitely some adjustments needing to be made, but still a very close contest. A lot can happen in a half of football. We're winding down this first half. 28 seconds to go in the second quarter. Peoria High unsuccessful in all their 2-point tries, and they will be unsuccessful once again. So one thing you can take away, they have negated several extra points from Peoria High on the 2-point tries. Officials getting together though. And they'll head off now. So unsuccessful try. Get you a look at the scoreboard right there. 24-7, Peoria High leads at home. 28 seconds to go in the first half. Not a lot to do here with 28 seconds, but again, do or die time. Perhaps you just go for another deep shot.
Yeah, you have to be aggressive right here. You have a little bit of time to try to, get the score to 24-14. If I'm Coach Hart, first we have to focus on getting this onside kick that's coming. Inevitably be from the Lions. Focus on getting the onside kick first and then maybe taking a shot. To Carson King, maybe, who's got a lot of targets today.
Carson King had a big week, big season overall. Leading receiver for Kankakee. Just haven't been able to hook up with him so far. Again, elements certainly got to be playing a factor. This whole second quarter, Kankakee's been throwing into the wind. I'm no experienced quarterback, but I got to imagine that doesn't help your cause at all. Bouncing onside kick, nearly recovered, popped away. Does Peoria High have it? They do indeed. Peoria High recovers an onside kick, and we talk so much about how unorthodox that is. Right there, it proves just how successful it can be.
Yeah, Coach Thorne is really, really aggressive. It's really a method to his madness because all year they've been recovering these onside kicks. Teams just haven't been focused on putting their best people out there with their hands, and that's really a very, very bad play for the K's going into halftime.
No extra momentum for them with the final 23 seconds. I would like to venture and say Peoria High probably leads all teams currently in the state playoffs in onside kicks recovered. Now that's their 3rd in the first 2 weeks of the state playoffs. Gist drops back, and a blown dead immediately. False start on the Lions.
False start on the line.
Really important for the K's to not let it score another touchdown right here.
Got to imagine they're going to be going deep. It looked like Gist was rolling out, perhaps going to throw a deep shot to the end zone. Any extra momentum Peoria High wants. They keep Ricky Hearn out there. TQ Webb, 2 of the top receivers for this Lions offense. Landon Newby Wholesome Malachi Washington in the backfield. Gets in the shotgun. He drops back. Time to throw. They'll throw a screen pass. Malachi Washington, not anywhere to go. He'll get a few yards. Not much to do. 13, now 12. And it looks like Peoria High will let the clock run down on the first half. The horn sounds, and we are at halftime with a thunderous applause and a standing ovation from the home side. Peoria High leads 24-7. We'll be back in just 1 second after a quick word from Uftring.
The SUVs you want, the trucks you've been waiting for. Get yours today because it's go time at every Uftring Auto Group dealer with our best new inventory in over a year. On the ground, inbound, and arriving daily. Plus more for your trade this week. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Thanks to Uftring for sponsoring tonight's contest between Peoria and Kankakee. Also sponsored by State Farm agent Jody Brown in Peoria. See her number on the screen or visit her website for all your insurance needs. And how about all of our other great agents in the Peoria area? Zach Butler in Pekin, Jake Weston in Washington. Make sure to check them out. Your good neighbors around Central Illinois. We appreciate their support of high school sports and Clutch Sports Media. That's where we will leave things at halftime. 24-7, an exciting matchup. Some penalties, a lot of things that you don't expect to see in a game, but we come to expect the unexpected on ClutchSportsIL.com. Don't go too far. We'll be back for the second half shortly. Make sure to check out also Pekin Normal Community on ClutchSportsIL.com. That game should be resuming shortly. But for now, we'll sign off for halftime. Be back for more 5A playoff football on Clutch Sports Media. Welcome back to Peoria Stadium. Gavin Russell alongside Lateef Love. 24-7 is where we're at. Coming out of halftime, and Lateef, it was kind of a back and forth matchup early on, both teams trading scores, but Peoria High has been able to find ways to make big plays. Give us some keys to the game, keys to the second half for both of these teams.
For the K's, they're down 24-7. I think they got to come out and score fast. They got to get this passing game going. Their running game has been really good, but they got to get this passing game going, stay aggressive, and they got to stop the run on defense, because I believe that Coach Tim Thornton's going to come out. He might stay a little aggressive, but he might cater to his running game a little more, to chew a lot of time off the clock and not allow the K's to come back and make this a game. But I know Coach Thornton loves to stay aggressive, so we might see a couple passes, but I believe that they might just, try to run the ball a lot and chew the clock a little bit. But for the K's, I just think they have to stop with the penalties, making a lot of mistakes, be more stingy in the running game, and, force Tino to pass like he did in the first half, and see if he can continue to do it in the second half.
See what the K's and the Lions can do, see what adjustments they made at halftime. K's will receive to start the second half, so they'll get an opportunity to put some points on the board, get some early second half momentum. Tino Gist, 2 passing touchdowns in the first half, and I apologize to Landon Newby-Holsom, who caught that 76-yard touchdown reception. I didn't have a number. He switched jerseys on us. He's 40 on my roster. He's 0 tonight. Landon Newby-Holsom, TQ Webb receiving touchdowns, both passed by Tino Gist. Malachi Washington, a couple of rushing touchdowns for Peoria High. Lawrence Walters kept the only Kankakee touchdown on a keeper 2 yards out. That's how we stand entering the second half. Still another minute to go here in the halftime break. Remind you of another game going on tonight, a big game down in Normal Community. The Ironmen leading the Pekin Dragons in a 7A heavyweight bout, 21-18 at halftime. We'll try to get you some updates on that if you're curious throughout this second half as that game continues on and progresses. Not much else going on around Central Illinois tonight, but plenty of other IHSA games across the state. 1 to 8A, plenty of games being had. Also a lot of games tomorrow. How about a big one down in the Twin Cities? Normal West hosts East St. Louis. That's a big matchup in 6A. Metamora travels down to play Mahomet Seymour after a big week 1 playoff victory for the Redbirds. Metamora looks to keep it going. Still play the very tough Bulldogs team. But tonight we focus our attention on the second half of Peoria High and Kankakee. We are ready to go. K's receiving. Onside kick. Takes a bounce. Up in the air. Did Peoria High get it? They got the ball again. Second onside kick recovered by the Lions in this game. Incredible.
Kenny Rutherford making plays all game. Another great defensive play right there to get the onside kick. And that's really a big blow for the K's to have to come out on defense, already being down 24-7, and allowing the Lions to have great field position.
What another magic trick pulled out of the hat by the Lions special teams. How about that?
Like I said, Tim Thornton, he likes to stay aggressive. Even though he's up big, he's gonna keep scoring, keep trying to, have a lot of sportsmanship, but still put a lot of points up on the board.
Nothing against sportsmanship, but Peoria High likes to keep their foot on the gas pedal. Just keep building momentum throughout the postseason. There's a flag on the play. Peoria High clapping and celebrating a little bit. They believe this could be on Kankakee. Kankakee saying the exact opposite. It is on Kankakee, and a face mask. So Peoria High will get 15 more after a nice run there on first down by Malachi Washington. Just tuned in for the second half. Peoria High recovers their second onside kick of this contest, 4th of the postseason. pretty confident they lead the state in that. Don't see that happen too often. We're 10 seconds into this second half. Peoria High nearly in the red zone and have 1st and 10.
On the first 2 plays of those drives, you see a lot of stuff you've seen in the first half. Penalties by Kankakee, aggressiveness by the Lions, and then Malachi just dominating on the running game.
There's another big run for Malachi. It'll be near the sticks. 2nd and 1. He'll be just 1 yard short.
I think one thing about those onside kicks that Tim Thornton loves so much is that it's really demoralizing to the other team. You know, like you just lost the opportunity, you make a big mistake, and now you're giving the offense a chance to score again when you're already down 24-7. So they found themselves up a lot in a lot of their games. You know, they use those onside kicks to really demoralize and take the fight out of the other team.
Gotta play a game of chess, not checkers. Tim Thornton doing that really well tonight. And a 1st down, 1st and goal for the Lions on the 9-yard line. 9 yards to get their 5th touchdown of the game. 2 passing, 2 receiving tonight. Rather, two passing, 2 rushing. Get my words straight there. 10:56 to go, and we'll have another flag. And jumping off sides of the K's, and didn't listen to your key for the second half, Latif. Plenty of penalties so far on Kankakee.
I don't know if it's nerves. You know, being in the playoffs can be really nervous. You know, some of these mistakes are about some of their more experienced players as well. You know, it's a lot of experience on this K's team, and they just continuously, you know, make mistakes when they're already down, when they don't have the room to make any mistakes in the second half. They have to be perfect, and they're already on their first drive. They're coming out making mistakes, and just moving the Lions closer to the end zone.
Moving up the field quickly is Peoria High. Clock is rolling. Now they'll set up. Washington in the backfield. Landon Newby-Holsum, the fullback. He'll take it, hand it off. Up the gut. Washington fights forward. In for 6.
Touchdown, Malachi Washington.
3rd touchdown run of the game for Malachi Washington. 8th of the postseason. And puts the Lions up 30-7, pending the 2-point conversion.
And Malachi Washington is really making an imprint on Peoria Lions history as a whole. Has to be one of the best running backs to ever come through this program, and leaving a legacy on his career tonight.
Looking to make a legacy in the postseason. He joins again a long line of great running backs, but swallowed up there. Still perfect is the Kankakee defense on those 2-point conversions.
Washington brought down by 55. Steve Young.
Yet another score, though, for Peoria High, and Malachi Washington in for 6. Let's take a quick ad break. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by State Farm agent Jody Brown in Peoria. You can give her a call, 309-693-1103, or at jodybrown.agency.com. And how about all of our good neighbors in the Peoria area, Zach Butler in Pekin, and Jake Weston in Washington, all of your good neighbors from Central Illinois. Make sure to hit them up for your insurance needs. Back to Peoria, 30-7, the Lions. All systems go. How about this? 2 onside kicks recovered tonight. 3 Malachi Washington touchdowns, 2 Tino Gist passing touchdowns. Just about everything going right. What does Kankakee have in the tank to respond? We'll find out. Got to start with recovering the football. Here's the bounce. Nearly bobbled, but they will get it back this time right at the 50-yard line. Kankakee will get the ball with 10:23 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I must admit, Gavin, my initial analysis of this game before the game, we talked before the game. You know, I had Kankakee, coming out on top in a very, low-scoring game. But as of right now, Peoria is really showing their dominance, proven to be one of the best teams in the entire state, regardless of class. They're very confident. They have a 1-2 punch with Tino Gist and Malachi Washington, even, talent at the wide receiver. They're really showing how well balanced they are as a team right now.
Very well balanced, and that's a scary sight for any team that might run into Peoria High in the postseason. Here we go with the K's starting off their drive and maybe a couple yards on the first play. 10-15 and rolling, 3rd quarter. Peoria High, no stranger to big offensive outputs here at historic Peoria Stadium. They've set records with their points scored in the playoffs before. Won't get to that number tonight, but big performances indeed. Here's Walters, he'll drop back. Medium route right off the hands of the receiver. Nothing happening there. Eli McFadden in on the coverage, and again, he is a lockdown corner, one of the best in the Big 12 Conference, showing why tonight.
Yeah, being down this much, you only have options to really pass the ball. So when you get down this much, it's much easier for the defense to predict what you're going to do. So, and they have lockdown corners as well, so you won't see a lot of running in this second half.
See what they can do. They're going to hand it off right there. Turner breaks to the near side, and he'll be short of the sticks. Decent little gain, though, right there. He'll get most of the yardage needed for first down, just not quite all of it. And Turner, again, on isolated occasions, along with Tony Phillips, have made really good plays, but it's been penalties that have killed them most of the time. Now fourth down, got to go for it. Try to employ the run or go to the pass.
They're going to pass it down.
Lateef calls the pass. We'll see what they do. Coach Hart and company calling the play. Turner switches sides in the backfield. Shotgun, Walters. He'll keep it himself. Moving to the far side and ripped down by the Lions.
That was Rontavious Lee on the tackle right there. Probably should have went for the pass right there. You know, try to use his legs on the run. But that was a great tackle right there and great stop. And just Peoria continues to dominate right here.
9:41 to go in the third quarter, and the Lions firing on all cylinders. Rontavious Lee coming in for the stop, and although maybe you could say, yeah, he should have gone for the pass, Walters has had some success tonight with the ground game. He has the K's lone touchdown. He's rushed for a few first downs. Tried to go back to it there, but snuffed out by the Lions. Here's Peoria High taken back over just short of midfield. Hands it off to the fullback, Newbie Holsom, running with a head of steam. He'll get about 3 or 4.
So what you think, Gavin, right here? Do they keep the foot on the gas right here, or they just, be conservative, keep running the ball, try to take a lot of time out the clock?
Well, you'd think they would want to play conservative and chew it down, but knowing how Peoria High rolls, they want to do everything they can to put up another number on the scoreboard. I'd fully expect them to gear towards a quick touchdown, if all possible. Here's Malachi Washington. He'll rush up the gut. He'll get a few more. Can't be brought down. 2 flags come flying in. This could be a personal foul. We'll see what the call is, though. Initial indications, looks like it may be a personal foul. Face mask it is. Yet another flag on the K's, and it's frustrating, of course, to watch. You got to imagine it's incredibly frustrating to be a player. It seems like things have just gone bad to worse. Maybe bad luck, whatever you want to say. It's been a tough night for the K's discipline. Peoria High taking advantage, and a flag flies out. No flag, just passing it back to the official. We'll play on. 8:57 to go in the third quarter. Lions making it happen. Here's again to Washington. Runs into a pile, and not much there, and that's really one of the first negated runs the K's have been able to stop Malachi Washington on.
They'll need a lot more of that if they want to come back in this game. First starting with stopping Washington, then with the penalties. Yeah, like you're speaking of, it's really frustrating, to this be possibly how you end your season, a lot of penalties, not even giving your chance to win a game.
Peoria High 30, Kankakee 7. 8:18 to go in the third quarter. Rolls out, passes, completes it, up the far side. And another flag. Lots of flags flying. Lots of laundry on the field. Ineligible man downfield is the call, so this one's going to go the other direction on Peoria High. Newbie Wholesome, though, something of note, pretty active in the receiving game tonight. Of course, he's primarily the blocking fullback, big body. He plays defense as well, does a lot of the dirty work for Peoria High, but he's been targeted on numerous occasions, including that 76-yard touchdown.
I think despite the penalty right there, you see Tino rolling out really accurate, going through his progressions and hitting Newbie Wholesome. I think this is probably, Tino's best game of the entire season, considering the, the pressure of the playoffs, and he's really stepped up for his team and showing his leadership and his experience today.
Continually getting better and saving the best for the right time. Lions wanted to jump there on 2nd and long, 2nd and 14. Tries to get him to jump again, nothing happening. Play clock winding down. Here's Gist, takes it, and it'll be blown dead. It was a bit of a delayed snap and some miscommunication. This should be a false start on Peoria High. And it will be. So 2 penalties in a row on the Lions, and we've seen this at time with Peoria High in a very kind of flip it around type of game. Peoria High played at Normal West, losing that game, I believe it was 30-6. Peoria High struggled with penalties, with discipline, turning the ball over, kind of in the boat Kankakee is in right now. But you don't want to give the K's any breathing room. You want to shut the door while you can. Maybe a little life coming in now as Peoria High is 2nd and really long. Here's Gist, he'll throw, lots of pressure. Throwing, Ricky Hearn completes the pass. And it's taken away after a flag is thrown.
Flag before interception. It looked like it's going to be a defensive pass interference.
Not sure what's happening. Everybody's a little confused.
That was Tyrone Kennedy Jr. on the penalty, I believe. He's had a really solid game, really good coverage tonight.
On the coverage, likely going to be defensive pass interference. Ricky Hearn completed it. Tyrone Kennedy ripped it out after the play was over. The penalty is declined, so they're going to say it was a completed reception. No fumble or interception on the play. Visiting fans not too fond of that one. Nice play, though, by Ricky Hearn. And as you mentioned, Tyrone Kennedy has been locked down all night. Just a better play there by Ricky Hearn. Good throw from Tino Gist, and Gist continues to impress here tonight.
I think maybe Hearn let the ball go right there because he saw the flag, so he gave up on the play. But it's still a nice reception. They go back to Malachi Washington. He scores, I believe.
No, he will not. Just short. Lions wanted the touchdown. Tiki Webb throwing up the arms, looking for the touchdown. He'll be stopped at the half-yard line, so he can't get yet another TD. Looking for number 4. He'll dive through the pile, in. Lions touchdown. 36-7, and Malachi Washington, number 4. One shy of double-digit playoff touchdowns in the first 2 games. It's Peoria High heading towards a quarterfinal appearance. Game's not over yet. Heading in the right direction. Maybe the one thing they haven't done well tonight is the 2-point conversions. They're 0 for. No 2-point conversions completed tonight. They will attempt it once again.
But you get to go 0 for 5, 0 for 7. If you up, 30, 36 or 7, you can do whatever you want. And they don't have a really good kicker, so they're going to keep going for these 2-point conversions, keep going for these onside kicks, and keep being aggressive, trying to make the score even larger, trying to set a tone and send a message all the way to all the other schools in the state.
And it is no good once again, so nothing going on these 2-point conversions. Maybe the one downside of the game, Coach Thornton would like to clean up before they head into their next game if they can so hold on and keep for the win. Peoria High 36, Kankakee 7. Let's take a quick break to thank our sponsors for tonight. State Farm Agent Jody Brown in Peoria. You can give Jody a call, 309-693-1103 or jodybrown.agency.com for all your insurance need in Peoria. But if you're around Central Illinois, feel free to give Zach Butler or Jake Weston a call. Pekin and Washington, servicing the entire Central Illinois area. Your good neighbors. Make sure to hit them up, and we appreciate their support of Clutch Sports Media all season long. Greatly appreciated. Back out here, Lions ready to onside kick once again. Fresh off yet another touchdown. Malachi Washington's 4th of the game. Kicks it off, bounces high, taking that time and recovered by Carson King. Nice job to recover right there, and it'll give them a decently short field. Breezy night. Elements have held off fairly well here in Peoria. But the storm of the Lions has come in, sweeping through. Big offensive outbursts from both Tino Gist and Malachi Washington. Not much to show for other than their first drive. Kankakee held scoreless.
Before the game, you wouldn't think, the score would be this lopsided as it is. I mean, the Lions have a good defense, but they're giving up 16 points per game. But the K's haven't given up 30 points the entire season. The largest points they gave up was 25, and the Lions had that in the first half, 24.
There's a big play though. Walters scampers up for a first down, but there is some yellow laundry on the field. We'll see who this is going against. Walters using his legs nicely tonight. Just a junior, 6 foot 160, so he'll be back to lead this Kankakee offense next season. Certainly going to be a huge piece. And it's going to be on Kankakee. Looks like a holding penalty. Negates yet another big play. Sets him back about 5 yards. 6:41 to go in the third quarter. All the Lions so far. Right at the 50-yard line.
Flags black on the block in the back.
Hand it off again. Find some space to run. We'll get a nice run right there. And a late flag comes in. I was about to say there was no flag on that play, a decent offensive pickoff, but a late flag comes in as the play was finishing.
Every single time the K's get an ounce of momentum, a big play, yards, any type of game, it's been complemented with another penalty. It's been complemented with another penalty to, kill the momentum. Fans are very upset with that.
Fortunately, it'll offset penalties going both directions on the unsportsmanlike conduct. Kankakee fans and sidelines still not thrilled about the call. We've seen a lot of flags thrown this evening.
Fans are going.
Not very happy about that one. Although it offsets, so it's second down. The pickup does stand, so no harm, no foul there. Second and halfway there. Hands it off again. Finds some space to run and met by some Lions.
Fans, we need a car moved ASAP. License plate CC75431 of Monte Carlo. Again, license plate CC.
Bring up third and short. 5:57 to go in the third quarter. Penalties slowing the game down just a little bit. Certainly going to be one of our biggest takeaways from the evening. Hands it off again. Here comes Phillips, and he'll dive forward, and they'll get a first down. No flags.
Tony Phillips has been one of the only bright spots for the Cavs tonight. You know, a good combination of speed, acceleration, vision, you know, patience behind his blocks. So he'll be a good, player for them next year, and they can take a lot away from this game today.
Sure, certainly can take quite a bit away. Handing off again, getting some space to run. Starting to see some productive runs from Kankakee. Carson King. No, rather, that's going to be Tony Phillips again. You mentioned a junior, so he'll be back. James Stampley will be back. Lawrence Walters, the quarterback, will be back as well. Here's Phillips again, fighting forward, breaks a couple of tackles, and he'll get up for another first down.
First down after first down. Good run after, this could be momentum for the Cavs, this drive. Hopefully we would have saw this the whole entire game. The game would have been closer, but it's good to see that they can, move their offense, being down 37. Maybe they score right here, they still have a chance to, come back and win this game. But it starts right here on this drive right here. They got to score.
Hands it off again. That's going to be Stampley this time. Tries to break to the outside, stays on his feet. Swarmed by a pride of Lions. He'll get a short gain right there. Oddly enough, the PA announcer just immediately repeated what I just said. A swarm of Lions, almost like they're listening up there. If they're listening, I do appreciate, I'm very flattered you would use my phrases and terminology, but coincidence? I'm not so sure. Here we go again with Stampley, and he's taken down again.
Lions safeties and linebackers having a great night tonight. Even if the front seven allows them to get to the outside, they come down hard and tackle them.
Third down right here. Tony Phillips has been the man to get him some first downs on this drive. Will they go back to him? Stampley's on the field still. Walters drops back, passes into the end zone. Flags fly, and we're going to have some defensive pass interference.
Flag on the blood.
Wait the call here, but should go on the Lions. And it will be defensive pass interference. Trip the man down. No chance for him to make a play.
That was great awareness by Lawrence Walters, seeing he got tripped, just throwing the ball in the vicinity in order to pick up the penalty.
Part one, recognizing could be some pass interference there. Tony Phillips back to the field. Again, as you mentioned, one of the best runners for the Caves tonight. He'll try to stuff it through the middle, not going much anywhere. It's first and goal, 3:33 and counting in the third quarter. Caves in near the goal line, just converted once tonight. They haven't been this close really too much, so when they have been there, their one opportunity they were able to convert. Lawrence Walters rushing touchdown. He'll keep it himself just like last time. Will he be able to get there? Hit hard, and he'll be just short of the goal line. Third and very short, maybe a yard, half yard at that.
They've caught a lot of design runs for Lawrence Walters. He's been taking a beating, getting hit a lot when he's about to go down. But he's a tough kid, hoping to get the score in for the case right now.
Wind picks up, crowd picks up, hands it back to Phillips. Phillips met at the goal line. Did he get there? Stuffed short. 4th and 1. And of course, Peoria High firmly in control right now, but as we talk about momentum, we talk about all this energy that they've created, how big would a 4th down stop be right here?
I mean, this is a show of complete domination. They don't even really need to stop them right now, and it's maximum effort every single play.
Jair Hill in the Wildcat. Takes it himself, fumbles the snap, and he's brought down. Turns it over, and the Lions hold at the goal line.
you see the amount of energy the defense has. They're up 30, 34, 36-7. You know, they still playing really amazingly, getting into it every single play. It's just maximum effort. It's like a really effort thing in this game. You see the Lions giving them like a lot more effort. Every single down, every single snap, you know, they're not tiring out anything. They're just showing a lot of effort, a lot of domination. They're down there on fourth and 1. They don't have to get a stop right here. They're firmly in control of the game, and they come up with a stop.
2:05 to go in the third quarter. Maximum effort, as you mentioned. That's something they pride themselves on. Nothing but pure effort from Peoria High. They've got a lot of talented players, but up and down this roster, you're not going to find many harder workers. And this ball goes back into the end zone, and it's going to be a safety. How about that turn of events right there? So a botched snap. Gist couldn't haul it in, and Kankakee is able to add 2 points.
Yeah, that was really awkward sequence of events right there. But, you know, one thing about being that far down in the goal line when you on offense, if you don't convert, you get a chance, you know, get the ball, get a safety, and that's what they did. So the K's will hopefully get the ball back right now. You know, hopefully we can come down and score, make the game a little closer, get ourselves back in striking range.
So they will get the ball back right here, and after the Lions stand at the goal line in a big way, they will add 2 points and get the ball back. Maybe some late magic. Of course, there's a whole nother quarter to play. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. So they've got 14 minutes to try to mount something big. Again, it all starts right away. K's will get their priorities in order, as will Peoria High. Quick check-in on our other game of the night, down in Normal Community. The Ironmen taking on the Dragons, 31-25. Ironmen still leading in this game, 6 points with 9 minutes to go in the final frame. Ironmen with the ball right now, so tune in for that one. It's a nail-biter. Larry Larson, John Camosa, and staff making that one happen tonight. I know they're doing a great job. Some other big games happening this weekend. Metamora at Mahomet Seymour tomorrow. Normal West hosts East St. Louis, an annual powerhouse in Class 6A. Those are 2 big games happening on Saturday. Might be a rainy Saturday. See if that affects those games at all. As all these teams continue towards what they hope ends in a state championship. Long way to go still. They'll go with the onside free kick punt again, and it's recovered, so a very short field for the K's.
Some of the fans are saying they don't respect them. You know, they just did that was a safety kick, and they just did another onside kick. You got to feel like that if you're a K. You know, you got to, you know, show some dignity. They onside kicking it up, you know, 36-9. You got to go right here and get a score, protect your dignity, show a little, you know, show a little toughness.
You sure do, and again, no disrespect from Peoria High. They've pride themselves on having a lot of sportsmanship, as does Kankakee. But that's just how they play, how they roll, how they have for several years, this sort of dynasty that Tim Thornton has created. Here we go with Stampley again. He's upended after about a gain of 2.
So, Gavin, what you think about them continuously running the ball right here? You think they need to open up in the passing game, being down as much? You think they need to score really fast and really quick, and they continue running the ball? I feel like they need to open up the passing game a little bit.
Certainly would help. Hasn't been much of a factor tonight. Here goes the passing game. Takes a shot over. Nowhere to go, though. Some miscommunication with Carson King, and I don't think it's that they're incapable. They've proven time and time again this season that they can pass the ball, but just tonight, frustrated by the Peoria High defense. Running game has been their only way to get yards for the most part. Held in check, though. Lawrence Walters on the pass game, and Carson King, their top receiver. Even you go back to last week, Tony Phillips, who's having a nice rushing game, caught for 57 receiving yards last week. We're not seeing much of that tonight. See if Derek Hart can pull any tricks out of the bag late in the game. Throws it again over to the flat and overthrows Tony Phillips. 4th down here, and just frustration mounting for Kankakee.
Lawrence Waters had a tough night in the passing game. He had a good night, using his legs, but, he hasn't been able to connect with any of his receivers that much besides Carson King on a couple occasions. Maybe they should go back to the running game, but it's 4th and 8. They only have many options but to pass. Let's see what they do on 4th down.
4th down, gotta go for it. Drops back, and the Lions come storming in. Kevin Roberts, Landon Newby Wholesome. And the sack. Turnover on downs, and Peoria High rolling.
Landon Newby Wholesome really showing his versatility this game. 76-yard, touchdown, a couple of receptions in the passing game, really blocking well as well for Tino Just. And then he just makes a big play to, just demoralize the K's on defense right there.
Landon Newby Wholesome, talked to him a couple times this year. Interviewed him on the In the Clutch podcast. Go back and rewatch that on our YouTube. But outstanding athlete, outstanding teammate for this Peoria High squad. He is one of the most physically built high school players around. Just does a lot of little things, and again, uses great athleticism with great effort to be an outstanding player. Jack of all trades. He's a fullback. We've seen plenty of receiving from him tonight. And we have an ejection, I believe. There was a flag thrown, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Kankakee. I did not quite get who the number was, but I believe the official motioned for an ejection.
Something you really don't like to see, being down as much. You want to, just protect the respect of the game right here.
Minute 20 to go. Again, didn't get a number on who was ejected on that play. Frustration, though, for Kankakee. Peoria High at the 50-yard line takes over. Getting ready to go. Quick check-in down Normal Community in Pekin after the play. Here's Washington, the handoff. He has some space to run. He'll get a few yards. Quick check-in to the Pekin Normal Community game. Community still up 31-25. 5:23 remaining in the 4th quarter. Dragons with the ball, trailing by a touchdown, and an extra point or 2-point conversion would give them the lead. Got to get to the end zone first, so head over there. That game is ramping up rapidly. Certainly one of the games of the night across the state of Illinois. Maybe the makings of the game of the night. We'll see. This has been an entertaining matchup here in Peoria, though, so far as well. Gist takes it, hands it to Washington, and that time wrapped up in the backfield, trying to make a man miss. Nothing happening there.
It was Nazir Hill on the target right there, highly touted cornerback. One of his best players of the game. Haven't really seen much of him, but it was great for the K's to get a start right there on Malachi Washington.
Washington has been really good at breaking tackles tonight, but pulled down right there. 7-6, and time will expire on the 3rd quarter. Lions winning in big fashion, 36-9. Let's take a quick break for a message from Uftdrain.
It's go time at everyuftdraingroup.com.
Thank you to Uftdrain for sponsoring tonight's contest. Also sponsored by State Farm agent Jody Brown in Peoria. You can give your good neighbor in Peoria, Jody, a call at 309-693-1103 or at jodybrown.agency.com. Also like to thank all of our other great neighbors in the Peoria area. Zach Butler, in Pekin and Jake Weston in Washington. You see their phone numbers and websites there on the screen. Make sure to reach out to them for your insurance needs, and we appreciate their support of high school athletics and Clutch Sports Media. Fourth quarter about to begin here at Peoria Stadium. 3rd and 6 for the Lions. Last play of the third quarter, Malachi Washington was wrapped up. One of the first negative plays of the night from him. 4 touchdowns from Washington. He'll hand it off and take it again. He'll fight forward, but not going to have enough for first, but he breaks the tackle. He's up the sideline, fooled me. Up he goes. Thought he got brought down, but breaks the tackle, and that just goes to show how good he is. He was everything but completely brought down. Breaks off for a big game.
You know, this K's defense has to be tired. You know, long, brutal game on the ground for them. You know, having to try to wrap up Malachi every single play. He's elusive, but he's like a workhorse back as well. You know, every play you can give him the ball, he'll get you a couple yards, and then he'll break out for big runs like that.
Not often you see a guy with great athleticism and the workhorse ability combined into one, but that's Malachi Washington in a nutshell. His predecessors, Eddie Clark, Geno Hess, setting a great precedent for him. Washington carries for no gain.
There's not many backs there. He's a 4-down back. Like, you can get him the ball on every single play, and he'll get you a couple yards.
He will make a play just about each and every time you hand it off. He's out on the field a lot. You gotta imagine his snap count is high. He takes a lot of handoffs in a game. Probably one of the most in the area out of any running back. Takes it again. Not much happening.
You have to, attribute that to, coaching and, his just dedication as well. Having that much stamina, it takes a lot to be out there every snap. He has to be in amazing shape to be out there every single down, running through them tackles, running through them big defenders, and not getting tired. It's really amazing to see.
Takes a lot out of you. He's got great stamina and great endurance. And we're going to have a stoppage right here. Timeout from the Lions. Let's take a quick break. A message from Uftring.
It's go time at every Uftring Auto Group dealer with our best new inventory in over a year. On the ground, inbound, and arriving daily. All-wheel drive SUVs, the toughest trucks, and more. Plus more for your trade this week. It's go time at UftringAutoGroup.com.
Thanks again to Uftring for sponsoring tonight's contest between Peoria and Kankakee. Also brought to you by Jody Brown, and State Farm agent in Peoria. Thanks to Jody for sponsoring tonight's game, 309-693-1103, or visit our website there on the screen. Also, all of our other good neighbors in the Peoria area, Zach Butler in Pekin, Jake Weston in Washington. Thank you to their support of high school sports. Give them a call for your insurance needs in Central Illinois. Quick update from the Pekin Normal Community game, just a touch under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Turnover on downs. Dragons can't convert in the red zone. Normal Community takes back over. We'll see how much the Dragons have left in them, or if Normal Community can hang on. Back here in Peoria, though, takes the handoff Washington, and not much going here in the red zone.
Washington on the carry for a short game, brought down by Steve Young.
Stephen Young. Fourth down here. Drops back, throws. Newbie Wholesome into the end zone. Second receiving touchdown of the game for senior Landon Newbie Wholesome. Add 6 more.
Malachi Washington, Newbie Wholesome, Kenny Rutherford, McFadden, just really their stars have been shining really bright for them tonight. Complete domination for the Lions. Another passing touchdown for Tino Jess, who's been really cerebral, really efficient tonight. Really, one of his biggest games of the season, biggest game of his career, and he's going to only go up from here.
42-9, and the only thing they could probably do to cap it all off, how about a 2-point conversion? Can they get it? Throws over and no good, so still can't manage to get a 2-point conversion, but don't let that take away from a 42-point effort. Tino Gist, 3 passing touchdowns tonight, 2 of those to Landon Newby-Holsom, 1 of those to TQ Webb. Malachi Washington, 4 rushing touchdowns. Just sheer dominance from the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know what's about it. You know, they get all the way down the field, score the touchdown, and just can't get a 2-point conversion. I don't know. Maybe the K's defense is locked in, you know, on the 2-point conversion. I feel like they're 0 for 5, 0 for 7.
Yeah, they certainly have not done well, have not converted one single 2-point conversion tonight. So something that they'll want to shore up, is they certainly look like they're headed in the right direction towards a victory. Band plays the fight song. Excellent output from the Lions tonight. Returning it here, though. Here go the K's. They do something with the onside kick. That's going to be a kickoff onside kick return for a touchdown. Caught me off guard, Lateef.
That was Carson King on that return right there.
How about that jolt from Carson King? And they thought, okay, you're going to kick onside to us. We'll do a little something with it. So there goes the K's, putting up some very, very quick points.
Yeah, what a heads-up play by Carson King. You know, that's the risk you run when calling so many onside kicks. They're eventually going to catch on. That was a great heads-up play by Carson King, returning for the touchdown. That's a great show of effort. Being down that much, logically thinking like, why would I go score right there? But that was a great effort by Carson King.
Carson King coming up with that play, and again, on a night of not a lot to show for, if you're the K's, got to find positives to take away. A lot of maturity there to keep the effort going. Here's Walters, nowhere to go, throws it over, nothing doing, incomplete on the 2-point conversion, no good. But the K's add 6 on the onside kick, return for a touchdown.
It's going to be a 42-15 late in the fourth quarter. Well, not late in the quarter, halfway through the fourth quarter. I believe the Lions will come out still being aggressive, still running the ball. Maybe try to take up some time off the clock.
Not taking anything away from this game, but the Pekin Normal Community game is coming down to the wire. Not gonna lie, I'm a little locked into that one as well. That's an exciting game. We'll have plenty of recap, plenty of material, look ahead to who the Lions could match up with, other games throughout the area in just a minute. Another quick update though, minute 36 to go. As the Dragons moving forward towards the goal line once again need a touchdown to tie. An extra point or 2-point conversion would give them the lead. Certainly a game you don't want to miss if you're just a football fan. I mean, that's good football. You can't, must-see television, must-see sports. I appreciate a good game when I see one, regardless who you're rooting for. That's a big 7A matchup. Two of the best teams from downstate Illinois. Dragons ranked 3rd in Class 7A. Normal Community a little bit behind them. They get the home field tonight. A little rain starts to fall. Head later into the evening, which is really unfortunate because it's been a beautiful night at Peoria Stadium. Did expect a little elements later in the game. Here's the kickoff. Squibs it over, takes a trick out of the Lions playbook, but it's recovered quickly and nothing happening there. And Lions will take back over. You wonder, of course, you like keeping your foot on the gas pedal to a certain extent. Maybe, again, you just start handing it off. Perhaps you take Washington out of the game. You let some of your backups, some of your younger players get some touches. Of course, Washington playing in his final games with Peoria High as a senior. Plenty of other up-and-comers, though. It seems like when one running back or one great player graduates from Peoria High, there's always another one to fill those shoes. They've proven that time and time again.
And I think Coach Torton did take his starters out. You know, this game is basically over, but, you know, you still have a future in the playoffs. You don't want no one to get injured, so that was very smart by Coach Torton taking the starters out, and giving, you know, younger players the opportunity to, you know, shine, get a chance to prove what they can do for next year. I believe Tino was in there, and it's a touchdown run. That is Frank Odom, the backup running back, for a touchdown.
Speechless, Latif. Just want to let you take that one right there.
Man, it probably sounded like I didn't have no energy right there, but that was really unexpected. You know, just when you think they might just run the ball, you know, put their backups in, another touchdown, running up the score, the Lions are.
Frank Odom, and as I said, there's some young players to be had on this Peoria High squad. Didn't expect him to surprise me that quickly. Frank Odom is one of those guys, though, and he'll break off for a big touchdown run. And a way of a quick update after this touchdown. Here's the two-point conversion try. Once again, no good. The Pekin Dragons took the lead at Normal Community with a touchdown and an extra point, 32-31. Now the Iron have a chance with just a little over a minute to perhaps make a score of their own, but for the moment being, Pekin holds the lead there. That game is everything that it was cracked up to be.
And Pekin hasn't been in that many close games this year. Maybe one against Metamora, but you know, they handled that adversity well, leading 32-31 with 30 seconds left. Let's see what happens in that game.
That'll be interesting. If you want to tune in for live coverage, Larry Larson and John Camosa have the call on that one. We keep preaching it because it is appointment television. It is a real good game.
And Peoria potentially plays Metamora next week. You know, that'll be a tough matchup for them. Two big games, you know. And then we have some, you know, pending renovations for the stadium. You know, it's 100 years old, but, you know, soon the stadium is looking to get some renovations, have a better field. You know, having a great football team, you want to have the best, you know, facilities, field. You know, they have a new shiny jumbotron over there. Scoreboard. I'm sorry. You know, it's really hopeful that this school can get, you know, some better. A better track, a better stands, you know, for such a good football team.
Oh, yeah, such a good football team, a lot of history and a lot of tradition in Peoria with football, with sports in general. Again, a long-standing Peoria stadium, Peoria Public School Stadium, just overlooking War Memorial Drive, one of the main roads running throughout the city. Definitely some renovations in the works, as you mentioned, Latif. Several $1 million could be going into the facility in the next few years. Scoreboard was a big part of that. Had some troubles in the past, but nice to see a nice, shiny new toy for the Peoria Stadium people to look at. 48-15 is our score. Lions not disappointing tonight, giving the new scoreboard a workout.
Yeah, you're going to spend that much money on a scoreboard, you might as well put up a lot of points.
Sure, for sure. Pass incomplete right there.
Pass intended for 6, Carson King. Broken up by Kenny Rutherford.
Kenny Rutherford on the coverage, and he's made some big plays tonight. Him and Gary Rutherford both. Brings up second down. Takes the snap. Here's Walters. Throws deep. Does he have his man? Stampley. No, he can't bring it in. And a flag. 2 flags fly in. This is going to be defensive pass interference.
Great pass right there for Lorenz Waters, one of his best of the night. Great job recognizing. It was awesome, almost in double coverage, but the receiver still got open. One of the only penalties going away of the Kankakee's case tonight. And even though the game is, really out of reach right now, you know, it's still good to get a moral victory. You know, go down on your sword and try to, you know, have something good to look at for next season.
Sure do want to take some positives away, and against Lawrence Walters, one of the big players on this team. Still 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter, all Peoria high though. Fumbled snap, tries to pick it up. He'll have some space to run. He's get tripped up though. He'll get a short gain right there. Again, Walters coming back. Stampley, Phillips. There will be no shortage of players back next year for the K's. A few more raindrops start to fall, which again is entirely unfortunate because it's been a beautiful night in Peoria. Throws deep, nobody home.
Pass intended for 12, Quan McElroy. Incomplete.
Rain picking up a little bit. Try to get some stuff sorted out with the rain as we trying to protect our equipment a little bit here. We'll keep bringing you the coverage though. Wet equipment does not work, so we're going to try to do everything we can to protect it. Walters again throws deep, nobody home, and it'll bring fourth down. Got to take some shots at this point.
I don't even think there was nobody home. I feel like his receivers are getting a little bit open. He's just overthrowing them or underthrowing them. You know, got to be a lot more accurate if you want to score right here.
Thanks for bearing with us. Elements beginning to pick up a little bit. We've been fortunate. It's been a nice night so far. Great conditions for November, I must say. Wearing shorts tonight. Don't see that too often, although Latif, you couldn't pull the shorts.
No, Gavin, you wear shorts every matter, you know, snow, sleet, rain, or hail. Gavin, you see Gavin in some shorts.
That's how I roll. Here's a big play right there. Here's Hill. Steps out of bounds, but the senior Hill able to convert on fourth down and keep their team's offensive drive alive.
You know, you like to see Hill get the ball more on offense. You know, every time he got the ball tonight, he had a pretty good play. Where I was in the Wildcat out receiving, he's one of their best playmakers. And, you know, one of the most highly touted recruits in the whole entire nation. It's really exciting to see his future.
Way of a quick update. Pekin victorious, 32-31. What an outcome right there. Here's Walters, dropping back, pressured, not a lot of time, throws to the end zone, gets his man, passing touchdown to King.
King continues to have an amazing season, 6 receptions for 61 yards. Last game, concluding a 30-yard pass. Today he has 2 touchdowns, 1 off the onside kick and 1 receiving. You know, he's one of their best playmakers. Every time he's got the ball today, he's made something happen.
Throw some more points up on the board, and King certainly got to be the K's player of the game. That's his 2nd touchdown. Special teams, kickoff return for a touchdown. Also this receiving touchdown, they'll go for 2. 8:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Throws it over and it's batted down, nothing on the 2-point try. But the K's, 21 points now. Creep a little closer. It would take a almost unheard of comeback.
Speaking of Pekin, though, you know, they improved to 11-0. You know, hard fought win tonight. They have another tough matchup next week at Metamora. You know, their season continues. You know, a wonderful Cinderella season they have. You know, coming into the season, they were expected to be really good. They have some really good players, Kanye Tyler. You know, but their season continues, and they'll have a tough matchup next week.
Watching quick video here of the Pekin game. Fans stormed the field in normal. The away team storming the opposing team's field. You don't see that too often. But that's how much pride Pekin takes in their football, and disappointing way for Normal Community. They are a fantastic team as well. Just such a close match. It could not have gotten any closer, Latif.
A great execution by Pekin down the stretch. You know, they really chewed the clock the whole entire last drive, but it made sure they had positive plays, forcing, you know, normal community to have to make a couple big plays in 30 seconds, which is not really achievable.
Here are the K's on the onside kick, and it's recovered by the Lions. Yeah, back to your point, though. Pekin definitely has some great players. They're a big team. Got it offensively, defensively. They're going to be fun to watch. History tonight, Latif. This is the first time they've ever won 11 games in a season, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure many of our viewers that have been around Central Illinois football longer than I have could probably tell me correctly. But this is certainly a milestone season for the Dragons. Again, I don't believe they've ever been to this third round of the playoffs. It's been elusive for them over the years, but they have finally captured it. Here come the Lions again. Odom, he had a touchdown run on the first play of the game for him. Back on their last drive, he'll get a few positive yards. Odom very likely could be one of the featured backs next season for the Lions with Malachi Washington's departure, so getting him some reps.
Yeah, it has to feel really, really good getting a touchdown on your first play. You know, coming behind Malachi Washington, you know, he might be in the shadow a little bit. But every time he touched the field this season, he's been pretty productive. And you'll think Coach Thornton has another great back coming next year.
Plenty of talent in the Peoria High pipeline. Taking their time now. Just a touch over 7 minutes. Slow-moving fourth quarter. Here's Odom again. Breaks forward, still on his feet, and he'll have enough for a first down. And some shoving and things after the play. Can't exactly get a close eye on it. It's on the far side there.
Yeah, you want to let the cooler heads prevail. Already being up so big. In terms of being on the Peoria side, you don't want to start anything, you know, ruin your chances going into the playoffs. You know, just keep running the ball, keep running the clock down, get out here with a win.
That's what they're trying to do now. Clock stops, though, for the first down. And a personal foul after the play on the Kankakee K's. Moves things forward.
Personal foul added at the end of the play.
Here's another run up the gut. Odom, is he going to have enough for a touchdown? He will. No, he will not. There's a flag, though, on the play.
Another great run by Frank Odom, really showcasing his ability, you know, to be a future back in a great system next year.
Looks like it's going to be a hold, though. A lot of players will be back. Of course, there's going to be a lot of seniors departing. Ricky Hearn, Malachi Washington, Dominic Batista on the offensive line, many others. But how about some of the guys coming back? Odom, maybe seeing some flashes right here of what he can do. Tino Gist, TQ Webb, Jaquarius Green on the offensive line, Deuce Thornton. I believe he's hurt right now. Don't quote me on that, but Deuce Thornton, son of Tim Thornton, a big part to this team on the line, is a tight end as well. List can go on and on, Latif. They keep pumping them out, though. 2016, the Lions were state championship winners in 5A. Likenesses of Quran Taylor, now a D1 quarterback, played briefly at Illinois. Geno Hess, Southeast Missouri State on that team. Kendrick Green, Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman. I thought it would be hard to top that team. Watching that game down in Champaign, it's an excellent matchup as they won the state championship. But they might be able to do it with this group. And it's hard to top special groups like that. Could they repeat as state championships here this season?
Tim Thornton has been building a great program over the years. He built it from the ground up. You know, every year they really reload. You know, this year it's looking like they really have a good chance of going to the state championship and possibly winning it. They have stars on defense, stars on offense, Gino is playing amazing going down the stretch. Malachi consistent every single game, having over almost 300 yards a game. 34, 35 touchdowns on the season. He's just doing his thing. So until someone is able to stop them, ever since the weather has been good for them. The one game they slipped up against Norman West where the weather wasn't good, they play good. The conditions good, they play good. So I really like how they bounced back from that loss with Norman West, 62-14 last week against MacArthur. They just rolling through the competition in the playoffs. You never see a team really dominate how they're dominating, and throughout the playoffs like this.
They certainly have a knack for it, and they, of course, maybe want a little revenge in the playoffs after they lost early to a good Morgan Park team last season. Kind of got upset here on the home field. So they certainly want to turn things around, and they've done a really good job at that. They are poised to move to the quarterfinal, and they move 3 wins away from hoisting a state championship trophy, 2 wins away from making it to Champaign. Again, that's a long road. That's a very long 2 or 3 weeks if they can make it that far. But every step counts, 1 step at a time. Gist on 4th and really long, throws it no man's land, and it is blown dead, so they'll turn it over on downs, 4:49 to go. Very slow, methodical moving 4th quarter, Latif.
Yeah, this whole game been pretty long due to the influx of penalties, being called, but and then Tim Thornton stayed aggressive, onside kicking it, continue to pass the ball even though he's up 20 points. So that will prolong a game. But we see what the K's would do out here, being down by 25 points with 4 minutes left.
You got to take some small victories away, if that's what you want to call it. 1 safety back for Peoria High. A lot of the reserves in at this point. Phillips was on the little short pass there. Walters overthrows him, and a late flag comes back in. Looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike call on perhaps Peoria High.
Yeah, Lawrence Walters has been overthrowing or underthrowing his receivers. Really inaccurate game for him in the passing game today. Really been a downfall of the team today. The running game has been pretty well, him himself included. And then Tony Phillips and James Stampley. But, the passing game has really not been working for the K's tonight, which really has been a big part of their whole entire season. They only average 150 yards passing their entire season. They've been really running the ball well, holding teams down. So that's been the key to their success. When you face a team that can score it so fast, so quickly, they get so many opportunities to score. You have to pass the ball. This is not 1970. You got to pass the ball.
Got to move into the modern era, and of course some teams still very run heavy, but we see more and more as it trickles through the NFL down to the college level, of course the high school level, passing becomes more prevalent, how big of a part of the game it is. Certainly finding their way to both of these schools. Some good passing from both teams. Peoria High ultimately, though, with a lot more of it tonight. Another stoppage here, 4:45 left. Dragging on at this point. Both teams still trying to make some passes. Stopping the clock quite often.
I'm curious, at what point do you get your bench players in there for,
Yeah, that's a good question. Of course, Walter's still in there, Phillips still in there, Stampley in there. Now, to be fair, a lot of these players will be back next season, and it allows Coach Hart to kind of just see what his guys are made of in tough situations. But of course, a lot of other players certainly that would like a opportunity to play a few snaps. We'll see if they get them worked in sooner than later.
Yeah, I think you got to see what you got in your players that haven't played, because you have a whole season to see what you had in these players, and you don't want to risk anybody's career and injury. That's just, a different way to look at that.
Sure is, and definitely a smart one. Still trying to go for it, though. Don't want to say you didn't try everything in the playoffs. Leave nothing to chance. Pass intended for Stampley is incomplete. 4:36 now. You mentioned potential matchups for next week. If I could ask you, Latif, maybe look up some of those matchups. Definitely like to see who could be playing who. We got some games to sort out on Saturday, though, tomorrow. Here is Hill. Almost said Hall. Hill in the Wildcat. Saw that a few times this evening. He'll get back out there. He'll get a first down right there. Clock rolling at just under 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, they have.
Here's Hill again. Keeps himself in the Wildcat. He was going to pass, then throws it, and nearly caught by Stampley. A late flag comes in.
Yeah, they have Jair Hill right here in the Wildcat. He does attempt to pass. You know, he's a special player. He really thrives on defense. You know, one of the best cornerbacks in the entire nation, the 15th ranked, second in Illinois. But he's really all around. He has offensive potential, so he might, switch over to wide receiver. Wide receiver. Even play both sides. He's a good punt returner as well. He might do that a lot of that in college. Wherever he goes, really be watching him, see where he commits. Crystal ball to Michigan, may go to Illinois, but he has over 30 programs.
He has a lot of options and one of the top players nationally. Getting some flags sorted out, some chippiness here late in the game. Taking a look, though, at some of these brackets. We'll start with 7A. We're talking about Pekin as their win in a nail-biter over Normal Community, 32-31. They will play the winner, the game that's happening tomorrow, so they'll have to wait on their opponent. It's Wheaton North, the 6th seed. Lake Zurich, the 11th seed. Pekin will host the winner of that contest. Without question, Pekin, the higher seed, and they've only played one home game in the playoffs, so they are destined for home playoff football again at Memorial Stadium in Pekin, Illinois. We'll take a look at some other brackets momentarily. Here's Hill again, brought down, throws the ball up. See what they call here. Certainly to keep an eye on Pekin, though.
What are your thoughts on having Hill still in the game down at 3 minutes left? He's one of your most important players. He has a great future ahead of him. You got him in the Wildcat, rushing. I feel like you just don't want to risk anything. It's really interesting to see that from Coach Hart.
Yeah, you don't want to risk anything, and you don't want to ruin a player's career. But of course, he's a senior, and these are his final minutes as a Kankakee K. 342 certainly wants to try to go out on top if all possible. He's going to throw deep. Makes an incredible catch right there is Carson King.
Yeah, it's a flag in the backfield, though. It might be roughing the passer.
Likely is, and what a throw there from Hill. Showing off the skills throwing the ball.
Yeah, it has to be the thoughts from Coach Hart. Just want to get, have their last minutes on the field. As a senior, last minute as a Kankakee K, just, have fun out there. That's what they look like they're doing, having fun out there. He's throwing the ball a little bit, in a Wildcat as well.
Rain starts to intensify here.
So it's good to see that from Coach Hart, putting all his seniors on the field, making sure they enjoy their last few minutes as a Kankakee K.
Sure will, and the rain picks up big time, so we get the tarp back and the cover's over.
Yeah, fans are scattering, trying to get the umbrellas over them.
And we are going to be very wet here. This is going to be a real interesting way to end this contest for us. Oh, boy. We knew some rain was coming later, maybe a little sooner than we hoped.
Yeah, very good for Peoria that the rain came. Oh, the fumble as soon as the rain come out. We have a fumble on the field. Oh, it's pouring down. It's coming down really hard right now.
We're going to disconnect the camera. Owen, you can go ahead and bring that camera here under the tarp. Really unfortunate weather was so cooperative until the last 3 minutes here. Umbrellas come out, fans leave the area. as we'll get nice and soaked. Only proper way to finish the game, I suppose.
Yeah, it just shows our dedication to, you know, Clutch Sports Media. You know, we will stand in the rain, take the rain, you know, continue to broadcast for you guys. Although without the camera, audio will still be live.
Audio is live. There's a pass, and it's intercepted by Peoria High. Being returned right now, still on his feet, still going, and it's going to be a pick six. No, he'll be caught. Tony Phillips came back. We are getting soaked right now, though. What a way to finish it out. Owen, can you grab my backpack? Because that's also being soaked. What a way to finish things out here. It's been a great contest, but not a ideal way to finish things out. Rain showers move through Peoria. Slows down just a little.
Yeah, interception on one of his only pass plays from Jair Hill. Peoria returns it back. 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the game. Peoria is up 46-21. Might be the last drive of the game, last couple of plays of the game. You know, run the ball a couple times, you know, in the game. Take your win and move on to week 3.
A brief, intense rain shower comes to an end. Again, we had to disconnect the camera right there. Apologies, no feed on your screen. Just elements not favorable. Malachi Washington in the game for some reason. Paco Alonso getting soaked on the sidelines. I think we're able to cover our bases pretty well, though, with the tarp. And rain picks back up again. It's going to be a sloppy exit here at Peoria Stadium.
Yeah, hopefully everyone gets home safe. You know, drive safely tonight. You know, we don't want to see anything go wrong. Hopefully all the players get home safe. It's been a great day of football, great night of football in the Big 12.
Through the rain we go. 1 minute, 1.5 minutes left to go. Clock is going to just wind down. Again, rain coming down and not favorable to the elements for us right now.
Bet you wish you wouldn't have worn them shorts today, Gavin.
And it's not the temperature that's the problem, Latif. It's more the being wet. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so it could have some bearing on some of the Saturday matchups. Not really going to get a chance to recap many of those games, but keep an eye out. We'll be covering some stuff on Clutch Sports Media next week. Under a minute now to go. Gist still in the game. He's wrapped up and taken down for a loss. It's 4th down. That's going to do it. 48-21. The remaining few seconds will tick down at Peoria Stadium. Rainy way to end the evening. Kankakee cannot advance. Peoria High will do so. Great game from both teams, but Peoria High ultimately coming out on top. 30 seconds to go. And this is just how we'll end things right here. We're going to sign off, try to get into some cover and protect the equipment, Latif. So, Latif, thank you for being my partner tonight. Thick and thin through the rain as well. Thatcher Zaleski, Paco Alonso. Owen, what's your last name? I got to give you a shout out. Owen Dimfel. I'm so sorry, Owen. Owen doing a great job on camera, enduring the elements as well. All of our great crew out here. That's the final score. Peoria High winners tonight. They'll advance in the 5A playoffs to the quarterfinals. We'll be back more next week. Check out our games of the week on social media. Check out some pictures coming up soon. We'll sign off now on Clutch Sports Media. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.